What is up, everybody? Welcome to the August 2023 edition of Low Ink. Always a fun tournament to have each month, and we are set for two teams: Splatville Idol Group versus Ink Black. I'm Kyone. Joining me is DRF. First of all, how are you doing?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic, Kyone. It is absolutely a pleasure to always be here to commentate yet another Low Ink. And Kyone, I mean, backstage, you know I'm excited for this one.
Yup.
We have a CCA team here in Ink Black joining us from VCU. So I am very excited to see this group take on Low Ink because they're here pretty much every month for the past God knows how many months, and they're ready to make another run here. I mean, they're always a pretty consistently strong day one team.
Absolutely, but of course it's not facing off another collegiate team. It's this time another team out there in the competitive field in Splatville Idol Group, a team that I'm sure a lot of us have recognized in the past. Now, we are on to our set here. We are going to be starting things off with on Museum de Alfonsino Splat Zones. A little bit of a zone that pretty much a huge zone right in mid. I'd be curious to see how both teams approach it. We of course know how Ink Black has performed overall, though. I'd love to see how this collegiate team deals against Splatville Idol Group, especially with this first set coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. Splat Zone's Museum de Alfonsino is, I think, a great sort of litmus test here where both teams are going to get a chance to really feel each other out. Like you said, it is a massive zone. It is going to, really require a fair bit of coordination. Really got to wake each other up to make sure that you are going to be able to dive into the zone when the other team has control in a coordinated manner, because you really can't just solo this. It is going to be a group effort to get it done. And it actually, I'm noticing here that Neptune is joining this Ink Black group, so not entirely a full VCU effort here. Neptune normally plays for the Grizzco Workers Unit, so they might not be playing this month actually. But let's dive on in here, taking a look at these compositions. It's definitely classic picks out of Ink Black. Wyatt going to be running with that shot. Mini on that BP, the Wiper Deco joining Ink Black as well. But the Splatville Idol group gonna definitely be trying to run that re-slider cooler combo here, which should be pretty fun to watch.
I'm gonna be paying close attention, especially to the NZAP duel that we're gonna have between both of these teams here. First cap already happening with Splatville Idol Group, but only for a short period of time. Already Ink Black has already picked up the zone and will be taking the lead very shortly here. But I want to highlight here, though, both teams dishing out NZAPs here. So I'm gonna be curious to see how the cooler usage is gonna really affect most of this matchup. Ink Black, you have the bullet point, you have the splash shot, which is making a resurgence here today. So I'm gonna be really curious to see how Ink Black can execute with pretty much a very standard-ish and pretty fun composition.
Certainly, as both of these teams just trading control of the zone back and forth to start off this match. Very even at this early stage here, but a beautiful 2-down situation there for Ink Black. They're gonna get the third, and now this is exactly what you're looking for. The stagger, as now Splatville Idol Group has slowly creeping out of spawn, and it looks like the Ink Black is just moving up big time now, and they're gonna make this so difficult for the Splatville Idol Group to get back in, as Lux is continuing to use that wiper, trying to guard those ledges, trying to keep an eye out for anybody that's gonna try to drop, and it's not gonna be any good for Splatville Idol Group. They're gonna have to use these ink strikes to get back in, but not gonna get any success there either. Kyone, this one might be it.
Yeah, Ink Black's just able to take out multiple members of Splatville Idol Group every time. You do see that Inkjet completely denied. They have to neutralize the zone, but 2 and make that 3 down from Splatville Idol Group. Does not allow that to happen, and what a great start for Ink Black. This team, as you mentioned, not full VCU, Neptune joining into the fray, not missing a step, winning that first map in pretty convincing fashion, DRF.
Yeah, pretty convincing indeed. Ink Black, like I said, they are just a day one force. They pretty consistently finish in the top of the ranks. Last month going 5-1 in Group D to punch their ticket to that top 32, ultimately faltering in that top 32 group stage, getting swept in their respective group, getting sent down to beta bracket. But, like I said, day one, you do not want to see Ink Black on your schedule.
Absolutely none. They're showing why they are such a formidable day one team. So Splatville Idol Group, they got the work cut out ahead of them. They had their first taste of Ink Black now in Museum del Fontino zones. Now they got to start focusing more on certain shipyard tower control. Now, this particular map with the comp they ran, which they had the NZAP, the Tetras, and the Heavy Splatling to boot, I think they actually had a decent idea on how to attack the zone, but they kept losing multiple members at really crucial moments. So for Splatville Idol Group, I'd like to see how they can try to adjust, knowing that, of course, this is a tower control map where tower leans towards one side, and again, like most tower control maps in this game, everything starts to happen past that first checkpoint.
Yeah, pretty much. So we'll have to see, exactly how they're gonna make the adjustments here. I think that for one, they are probably gonna need to just play a little bit faster. They do have the Tetras on their side, so you're gonna have to just kind of push the Tetras a little bit and try to keep pace with them, because it felt like Ink Black, once they finally got control of the zone the second time around, that it was just way too fast of a pace to keep up with. So hopefully the Splatville Idol Group can make some adjustments here and really give Ink Black a run for their money.
I mean, you bring up a good point. Ink Black, I think they controlled a good chunk of the map's tempo per se from that first map, especially with this being zones. Where I could see this start to slow down for Ink Black though. To quote a few commentators in the past, tower control, you only have speed. You only have one speed. You have to follow with how the tower control paths each time. So maybe this might be a chance for Splatville Idol Group to compose themselves. Possibly think, all right, the last map did not go too well for us. We ended up getting KO'd, but now we got to start really thinking. We still got to keep ourselves in this set, thinking, all right, how can we attack this map overall? Because Ink Black, they dished out a composition that, a lot of teams are going to try to start running ballpoint, NZAP, you got an Ancient, you got a Cooler for sure. So I'd love to see how Splatville Idol Group adjusts. About to load in right here, DRF, and actually this is an overall adjustment. What the heck am I looking at here, DRF?
Yeah, you're looking at two very different teams now suddenly. So the Splatville Idol Group going to be trading pretty much everything but the NZAP out, just keeping the Cooler, gonna try to mirror match the Wiper Deco. Also bringing out the S-Blast is going to be an interesting pick to see how that goes for them, but it seems like that's going to be a delayed wipe, so not the start that the Splatville Idol Group was hoping for, as Totostar going to ride this tower all the way to that first checkpoint. Going to go ahead and just ride this tower. It's a little bit of a slower pace because I would want Totostar to start moving up a little bit and let Mini go ahead and ride this tower right now, but that's not going to be the case, but it's still working nonetheless, as they're already to their second checkpoint.
On to the second checkpoint, and again, Splatville Idol Group just having a rough go trying to respond to this incredibly fast movement that Ink Black's been dishing out. Neptune at least trade through the Ancient 8 by the end of this one, and we're gonna be seeing that Ancient is just going off again. Mini's just having the performance of their life here, and this is a very resounding second map victory for Ink Black. I mentioned before in the previous ad how that was more convincing. This one was just a total shutout here. Ink Black winning the second map BRF in almost a wholesale change from Splatville Idol Group, but it just did not work out this time.
Yeah, that was, phenomenal play there. Neptune, I think, also making some really big contributions here. I was not anticipating Neptune actually playing for Ink Black this month, but you take one of the best players on another fantastic lowing team and put them on an already dominant team in Ink Black, and right now I'm seeing an alpha contender out of this group. Like, that's how well that they are playing. Because Splatville Idol Group is a solid team. I mean, last month going 3-3 in the in day one, I believe putting them in like Delta bracket or something like that. But you know, they are a bracket team, as we're going to take a look at the replay here and just how fast Ink Black was playing this one. Mini with the 2 kills plus the assist to really get things going. I mean, it just seemed like somebody was always down, multiple people down at any given time, as this was such a quick and easy KO.
I mean, this was the mini show in Sturgeon Shipyard Tower Control. You saw from the replays the double to get things going, and then it just kept snowballing from there. And as you alluded to, just the addition of Neptune from Grizz Co-workers Union, I mean, Ink Black looks so much better, especially with this group that they had. I think I just saw Neptune playing that Zero Shot replica. How dare you, for the record? But that is such a great weapon, great one to pick here, especially with all the recent patches in play at this stage. And now, Splatville Idol Group, again, no slouches either. They're still a very formidable team to still look out for, but I'm sure they want to try to. They have to compose themselves now because they're about to be entering Undertow Spillway Rainmaker down 2-0. You're in this salvage mode where you want to just at least win a map to at least end the set in a decent note. But the worst feeling to have is getting shut out, and Ink Black is almost running them out of the building, so to speak.
That's what it feels like right now. But we will see if they can, slow down this Rainmaker push, be the ones to run away with it. That is certainly going to be the hope for the Splatville Idol group. I'm genuinely curious to see what the comps are going to look like for this one, because from game 1 to game 2, that was a drastic change out of the Splatville Idol group. I don't know if that was quite the play necessarily, so let's see what they bring out here. They're going to go ahead and stick to their guns and say, you know what? We lost the set. We're going to continue to, play with this comp and see if we can make this work. So it's going to be interesting to see. Splatville Idol Group sticking with the same comp. Not necessarily. What shocks me there is it almost got them ran out of the building the previous one, but May's been showing some very strong play overall on that ballpoint Splatling. So it's a little bit interesting to see if they can make it work in Rainmaker. Maybe they have something working possibly they want to try out in this Rainmaker map all around, especially with this being Undertow. Ink Black does lose 2 to get things going. Nice, oh my goodness, nice Trizuka shot from distance, able to take out 1 there, but it's still pretty much a lot of brawling, so to speak, right now. Nobody really taking full control of that Rainmaker, other than the Idol group at least picking up 1 for a few more points, but then there's 3 members going down in quick succession, and Ink Black at this point, they pick up the Rainmaker. Now they're trying to see if they can try to set up either for the right or the left post checkpoint, whatever's the safest, as we do see a double coming out of Silk Lux. Lux is just trying to build more space for their team, and it is going to be the left-hand side they're going to push for. This will be the checkpoint from Mini. Yeah, took them a little bit there, but got it going and now have strong control of this Rainmaker, and they're going to push this all the way down to 19. Now, I think if there is any sort of, consolation here for Splatville Idol Group, this is a very hard map to knock out on, so you are always in this one. Like, you are in this until that timer ticks 0, most likely. So they are going to have to consistently, fight back here. Doing a great job here to get 2 down. Now this is going to be their opportunity to start moving. Creep forward. And there you go. Like, go with this reslider as well. Trying to open up a little bit of space here. The S-Blast going to find 1. Get the second. And that's going to be a trade. It's 3 down. 15 seconds on this Rainmaker. Time will be just enough to get this onto the pedestal. So checkpoint 1 is down. And Splatville Idol Group is back in the game.
Yes, Splatville Idol Group, that was a crucial checkpoint they needed to pick up because Ink Black was able to chunk it down to 19. To your point, though, as well, this is a very difficult map to KO, especially with that unpaintable area. And this push is done as the entire Splatville Idol Group has been wiped out. And Ink Black able to put a stop into that. Great defense overall, but now you're going to see both teams, they break through the first checkpoint. Pretty much whatever push ends up happening here, what advantages they can snuff out. This could be possibly extending the lead, possibly to a KO, or even a lead change. We do see 3 down on Splatville Idol Group at this point, and the Rainmaker's been picked up so far. Oh, they did lose a shot, but no harm, no foul there. So it's going to pop those 10 missiles, so to speak, and it looks like they're just going to try to set up again for another push.
Yeah, just you don't have to force anything if you're Ink Black right now. 19 a lot of times is a game-winning push. Just take your time with it. Make sure you're making smart plays, and that looks like exactly what they will do as Neptune is gonna creep forward. Allow Mini to wrap around the grates here, and this is a great spot to be in. But the dualies are gonna make this one very hard, forcing Mini to back all the way up. Somehow gonna get past the dualies, and that's gonna be more points added onto the board. Make that 7 more. The Rainmaker will stop for now. I don't know how Mini got around those dualies there.
Yeah, that was some great feet work, basically, from Mini, trying to navigate around the dualies that was just trying to poke at him, but able to just, not only dodge the shots, but also get even more points there, despite, Splatville Idol Group painting a good chunk of their base, so that effectively makes it so that there's a pretty much 7 more points on that board. Now, Splatville Idol Group, sure, they did get the stop right there, but now things might be looking a little dire for them. There could be a sense they may want to try to get a very good, very panicky push, so to speak, so they do need to calm down a little bit. 1 minute is left on the clock. Still plenty of time for the Splatville Idol Group to set up, but they're losing so many members right now. Ink Black is just putting on a clinic right now. What a shot from the Tri-Suka, taking out Abyss. What a shot indeed from Neptune. To an outstanding play from Ink Black so far, and Splatville Idol Group, they have to find a way to respond.
Neptune, that was disgusting. I'll be in your DMs later. 30 seconds to play. This Rainmaker will most definitely reset. 2v2. And it looks like Splatville Idol Group is simply just running out of time here. Not a lot to work with. They really need to focus on getting a little bit of paint control to set themselves up for one last push, but Ink Black is also making it very difficult by just trying to hold the Rainmaker barrier in just an unpoppable position, but Splatville Idol Group will get the pop. They do get the pick on Neptune as well, and that's going to be key to getting this last push going. They pick up the Rainmaker. They have to live through this Ink Jet, though, and oh, that's going to be so close, and beautiful shot to clean this one up. Ink Black will sweep this round 1 set.
Yeah, Ink Black putting on a show, not just in this map as well. Splatville Idol Group was just a few steps behind on every idea that they had, and pretty much they got past the first checkpoint, but that was really it. Then Ink Black pretty much reset themselves, pretty much made it that it was their game the entire way through, and yeah, convincing sweep all around. Not as convincing as the previous two, but Ink Black just showed up to play for this Lil Wink, and what a great start for them so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna be kind of curious to see what this Ink Black squad looks like across these 2 days, because without a doubt, I think they'll be making day 2. It's just going to be a matter of where. Right now, it's looking like top 32 for sure. But one thing as well is that I think Neptune has just been such a natural fit for them as we take a look at the replay that led Ink Black to that decisive lead there. But as I was saying, I think Neptune has just been a really solid sub for them. Basically, if you know anything about Ink Black, Wyatt is kind of their main slayer with that shot. Neptune kind of just picked up that exact role and has, fit this team like a glove. So I'm very excited to see how this team continues to proceed forward with this Neptune substitution. I think they're going to do fantastic. Be sure to look out for them in day 2.
Yeah, and we're about to see the replay of basically just what a shot from Neptune with that Tri-Suka shot. I cannot believe that was so well aimed too. Just taking out Abyss, who was just holding the Rainmaker, trying to poke from range with that shot. It effectively almost sealed Splatville Idol Group's fate on that one alone. And to your point, a player from another collegiate team join the forces of Ink Black for this Low Wink. I mean, you get the dynamic of this team has completely changed all around, and it's going to be so much fun to see how Ink Black progresses. You're predicting they make it day 2. I hope you don't jinx them entirely. Splatville I hope not. Splatville Idol Group, though, they still got a handful more rounds to start. I know this is a bit of a rough start for them, so hopefully the next 5 rounds they can get back into things and try to mentally reset after just getting completely shut up by Ink Black.
Yeah, especially that game 2, you just got to brush that off because they they're a very good team. I mean, it's just unfortunate that you're running into a team that went 5-1 last month. So you'll be fine if you're Splatsville Idol group. Just continue to play the game that and you'll start to get the one good thing about running into a team like Inkling early on is that the rest of the schedule from here on out should be a little bit more favorable. It's going to mess with your opponent win percentage a little bit, but in a way, that sometimes works out nicely because it allows you to play teams that you probably would rather see. So I think they'll be fine. I think we'll see them in day 2, but the question will be, of course, which bracket. So we'll have to just keep our eye out on both of them.
Just keep your eyes out on both of these teams and see how they progress throughout. But overall, after that first set, Inkling winning that one 3-0. Actually, I believe we should have enough time to go ahead and cut to break real quick. So stick around, everybody. There's still more Loing to cover.
Welcome back, everybody, to Low Inc. I am DRF once again, joined by Keone, and we are getting ready for your round 2 matchup here in day 1. We have Splabooey taking on Krill Streak. 2 very fun team names here, actually. Splabooey, I think, is gotta be like one of the most fun names that you could possibly say. And Krill Streak, definitely a team name that brings a lot of nostalgia with it. If you know anything about Krill Streak, you know, they've been around for ages, took a bit of a hiatus for a couple years, and have been playing in the past couple Low Inc. So very excited to see them here on stream.
Absolutely, and Krill Streak's looking to see if they can continue on, hopefully get an even good performance out of Low Inc. And as you mentioned, Splabooey or Splabooey, I'm gonna be able to get these names pronounced correctly at some point. Great team names all around. So both teams I will give myself credit for in terms of team names here. But yeah, Dira, we're about to jump straight to map number 1 here, Mantaria Clam Blitz, and this one's a very fascinating map for clams because the area is pretty much close to the streets. So I'd love to see how both teams want to approach this particular map combination.
I will just start by saying we need more Manta clams in map pools. You know, I know that, you know, we were talking about this one backstage as well, you know, our various backstage topics. The topic for this one was that TOs never win with map pools. So that's definitely, you know, but we need more Clamblitz Manta for sure. And if you have an issue with that, my DMs are open. So let's go ahead and jump on into this one. I love the coordinating splash tags out of Krill Streak. You know that this team means business. So let's dive on in, Keone, and take a look at these comps.
Yeah, right out of the gate, I believe I'm seeing a Sorella Umbrella as well here coming on the side of Krill Streak, and they actually are running pretty much a competition that does not surprise me at all. You have Ballpoint, you got the Tri-Nouveau, and you got the Splash, so you're very classic favorites to say the least. On the side of Splabooey, we got pretty much your Wiper Deco, 96 Gao Deco, G-Tech, and NZAP. So basically, we got a little bit of a cooler duel. The NZAP's still a very popular pick there from pretty much any team, and the version of the cooler that Krill Streak wants to run is on the Tri-Nouveau, but I expected to see more of an aggressive cooler usage out of Krill Streak with that Nouveau, as the Ballpoint unfortunately gets caught on the Ink Strike.
Ooh, yeah. So definitely both teams just testing each other out a little bit here. You know, no one trying to make any big moves quite yet, just trying to play around his center mast. And that's going to be 2 down on the side of Krill Streak. Make it a bit of a stagger now, too, as Splabooey's going to waltz their way into this street here, trying to paint things up as much as possible. And here goes Leaf with the dunk to kick things off for Splabooey, but do they have the follow-up? Yes, they do have some, but it's a little bit slow to the basket here. Are they going to be able to get anything in? Yes, finally. Wait. Okay, wait. A little bit slow, but ultimately getting some in.
I think Krill Streak had deployed the distraction tactic there, and I think it caused Splabooey to hesitate just for a tiny bit. And yeah, those small clams came in a little bit later than expected because Krill Streak was kind of almost collapsing right in on them. So they had to shift their focus to Krill Streak before getting more of those small clams in. But who are we to question at this point? They're still keeping this push alive. And again, Krill Streak is just staggered in big time, which is only extending this push by even more, down to 41 points remaining. But there's where are the extra clams they can cash in? It's down to 35 points remaining here, and it looks like Leaf is just hanging on to 5 clams. They're just purposely delaying as much of this basket being open as much as they can, and we do see that power clam being jumped in but denied entirely. Insanely clutch from Krill Streak to stop it, but what a push from Splabooey.
Yeah, I mean, that was a phenomenal push. They very well could have knocked that out. They had the clams to knock it out, but Krill Streak coming up clutch there, and, you know, forcing a little bit of mistiming. I mean, you know, it was a kind of a weird push because things were just staggered in a weird way there. Like, they had some close calls with the basket closing, but ultimately got all the way down to 26, which will be very tough to try to match here. I mean, Krill Streak lost half of the game timer on that one push.
Absolutely, and also from that push alone, as we're going to continue to highlight here, Inkjet is being popped out there and able to actually find lead from distance. How on earth did that shot land even? As that shot may have been enough to at least get the push started there. Will Krill Streak have any follow? We do see the Kraken being popped in, trying to spread Krill Streak all around, and I think it may have done that successfully there, and then that Kraken takes out Nova. Nice move from Psycheus over there. It looks like Krill Streak's push is just stopped entirely down to 71 points remaining. Still a lot more to go, but at least they're cutting that deficit by a bit.
Yeah, at least chipping away at it. That's kind of the name of the game that Krill Streak will have to play here. Just being patient, and you're gonna have to try to match this with 2-3 pushes probably, maybe even more. So we'll just have to see. But for now, they just have to maintain a bit of control of mid. This Crab Tank gonna try to open things up for them a little bit, but no, you're gonna be forced back here, and that's gonna be 2 down. And it looks like the members of Krill Streak are scattered. Milk somehow getting that jump out in. Great job there to maintain the 7 clams that were in their possession. So now, oh no, that's Splatoon moment there with that tent.
A very classic Splatoon moment there with the shots just going through the tent shield. Very unfortunate all around, but Splabooey, they just been able to take out multiple members. Well, as soon as I say they were able to take out multiple members, they lose 2 of their own. I had to open my mouth a little too early there on that one. But it looks like Krill Streak, can they get any more out of this? It's the time is really not on their side right now, and they only have just the 1 power clam available. Nola's just carrying it at this point, and we do see 2 members going down. Maybe this could be something big if they're able to get this shot to land. Not quite so, but the Kraken wants to deny this push all around and should be able to punish 2 members there. Krill Streak loses 3. The lone Inkjet trying to make something happen from Mart, at least able to take out Leaf, but there's really not that much time left, and I think that Power Clam is the only thing that's left from Krill Streak's back at base.
Yeah, I think so. So, now it's a bit of a scramble time for Krill Streak. So they're going to have to make a move fast here, as Milk is going to walk right by somebody not knowing it and is going to pay the price as a result. A fantastic shark there. So now time quickly running out here, as they now just need to really make a dive for it, and it's not going to happen. Splabooey will take game number 1 after a phenomenal 2-minute push.
That 2-minute push, so we were just wondering pretty much throughout that push, maybe some of us were trying to figure out that was a little bit awkward in terms of the timing, but when that push continued on, DRF, you saw that Splabooey is pretty much trying to milk out as much clock as they can, and also carry as many small clams as they can, just slowly chugging into the basket, almost close to like maybe 2 or 3 seconds left of the basket still being open each time. What also helps that strategy too, we saw multiple members of Krill Streak going down on that 2-minute push, which just continued to extend that push even further. And to your point from earlier as well, almost within KO range, Krill Streak had to basically clutch it out the entire way through. But by the time that all that happened, so much time just ran off the clock that Krill Streak just couldn't get anything set up and ready to go.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, let's take a look at this replay though. Do you see how close that timer was to running out? Like that was about to be a 1 and done push, but somehow Splabooey just got it in finally. I was gonna be kind of disappointed if they didn't keep that basket open at all. And ultimately, I mean, running 2 minutes off of the clock in that push, like you can't really get much better than that. A solid push that's long and drawn out, wastes so much clock, and makes it so difficult to come back from. I mean, very, very fortunate for Splabooey that they managed to get it done when they needed it.
I also wanted to highlight their just great usage of the Kraken from Psycheus as well from Splabooey, just able to just shut down multiple members on attempted pushes from Krill Streak too, because Krill Streak would usually be set up for a great push just with with maybe a couple power clams in tow, but then you just see the Kraken just staring at the face of Krill Streak. It's like, no, we're not gonna let you do that. And yeah, Krill Streak's pushing power just completely gets solved each time that they try to make something happen. So now Krill Streak, they have to reset now after that first map, you know, you can't take 2 minutes off the clock that easily in Make Mart zones. It's the huge plus side zone map here in Make Mart. I personally really like this map combination. I'd love to see possibly some changes from Krill Streak, at least strategically wise, because we saw them before. They were just losing multiple members at any given moment, and I'd like to see them be a little bit more patient and a little bit more controlled with their play.
Yeah, certainly. You know, I'd be curious to see if that tent will return for Krill Streak. I think that for Clamlets it works very well. If I remember correctly, that at least was Camo's main back in the day, so I've not had a chance to catch up with them to kind of see what they've been playing recently and whatnot, because all this is going like way back, so I don't know, it's been a long time since I've gotten to play with these Krill Streak folks, but they are fantastic people. So let's see what they ultimately bring out. Camo's gonna pivot over to that machine. I think that is a wise choice, but it looks like Krill Streak's just gonna mix it up almost entirely.
Yeah, this is a very interesting change. Camo's on your Slosher Machine, so Slosher Machine still getting usage even with all the recent nerfs being thrown at it, but we're also seeing the Carter Roller Deco and the NZAP 89, so Chumps and Trizukas galore is the name of the game from Krill Streak. Splabooey just a few tweaks in the system to make it work for Mako Mart zones. I actually really like the change from Tri-Nouveau to the Tri-Nouveau, excuse me, with more aggression, more pushing power with the cooler as well. I think this is a very good choice that Splabooey has. We do see the Kraken being dished out here from Psycheus, returning where they left off on the last map, able to take out one from Nova, and we see 2 members going down. Splabooey's gonna get control of the zone back.
Well, yeah, quick change of the zone there, and Splabooey just trying to get settled here. You know, the name of the game for Splabooey now is going to just be Ink. Ink as much as you can, because especially with Milk on this carbon, you need to minimize their opportunities here, because that's what's going to ultimately cause you some of the most trouble as a couple people go down there on the side of Splabooey. So Krill Streak gonna hold on to control now, definitely gonna get a nice push in, close this gap a fair bit, possibly taking the lead as well, but they can't overextend. I think the carbon just got a little bit antsy there, moved it forward just a bit too far, right into the hands of a couple waiting members.
Yeah, even though the Carbon Roller did get overextended just a tiny bit, it did cause the lead to at least flip there, so there is something that Krill Streak can look ahead on, but they have to be able to get a sustained push. Maybe that Carbon Roller Deco could get a lot more value over time, but it looks like Psycheus is completely sandwiched entirely there, and we do see 2 members down on Splabooey's end, but Splabooey also has 2 specials available, the Triple Ink Strike and the Crab Tank available if they want to take full advantage of it. So right now, Krill Streak, they have to be a little bit more defensive, knowing that those specials are going to be online. You see those triple ink strikes being thrown out there. Crab Tank also being popped out, but can they build the space and the ink to take over the zone? The Crab Tank takes out Milk, and that was excellent. Splabooey, they get control of the zone back, and a 65 penalty points applied to Krill Streak there.
That is huge. That's gonna, really give Splabooey an opportunity now to close this gap. I was going to say significantly, but they lose 2 members. Possibly going to lose this Tri-Slosher as well, but the Tri sticks around for a little bit longer, just enough to take 2 people down, and going to get the 3rd as well for Strobe. So now Splabooey going to actually hold on to control. That wasn't enough for Krill Streak to flip the zone, and they're going to pay dearly for this.
Yeah, it's Splabooey able to take out 3 members on Krill Streak, which effectively means they have now decent control of the zone, and now they can force paint towards Krill Streak's territory here. Krill Streak, I could sense that they're trying to throw all the special into it, but they don't have enough paint to put paint over the zone entirely. Splabooey, they flip, lead in their direction. We see 2 members going down quick, and no way! Sai gets a clutch pick, and this will seal it. Splabooey wins the 2nd map, and to note here, had Sai not gotten the pick, maybe that could have extended the push a little bit for Krill Streak, maybe by a few seconds, but my goodness, what a performance.
Wow, I mean, yeah, that was phenomenal from Splabooey. They realistically right now should have still been working away at a penalty, but Krill Streak got the neutral, they got the numbers advantage, they just couldn't convert, and they couldn't flip the zone to force the penalty. And as a result, Splabooey was able to just hold on for dear life there. Just hold on long enough to be able to even the numbers up and get back control of the zone, minimizing all the efforts that Krillstreak had put into there to get back into the zone, and start to minimize their movement options as well, because when you get the zone over half covered in your ink, and then suddenly you lose all of that, just flips entirely to that teal color once again, and it's definitely unfortunate for Krillstreak. I think this game definitely should have been going on a little bit longer, but hey, Splabooey did exactly what they needed to do here.
Yeah, it was. I mean, really, even though the game ended in KO, it was a lot closer than what the scoreline really details there. Because yeah, Krillstreak almost had something going for them. They swap out 3 weapons, bring in 3 different ones, and you could almost get the sense that they had something all figured out. And then just inopportune moments, like to highlight a few, just a little bit of an overextension from the carbon roller, which unfortunately gave Splabooey enough of an opening to get the zone flip the other direction. And again, Sai on that Kraken is just going nuts on and finding crucial picks onto Krillstreak, which effectively, ends a push that Krillstreak could have possibly had, or basically the defense that Krillstreak really needed. Again, I highlight there, even though yes, I got the pick at the end, it probably would have bought them maybe a few extra seconds, but at least that would have been enough for them to at least work towards something there. But at the end of the day, Splabooey, they win that second map, and now they gotta start focusing on Inkling Art Academy. I mentioned before, just from that first set, it's salvage mode for Krillstreak, just trying to get a map on the board for their efforts. And I want to see if Krillstreak, they had something good from the previous map. I want to see if they can continue that on to this one, and it could be a little bit fascinating though, because again, Splabooey, that Kraken's just going on from Sai.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that's what they're gonna have to figure out how to contain here. And I mean, with Krillstreak as well, we've seen them bring out 2 drastically different compositions so far. So I'm gonna be interested to see what they ultimately bring out in this last map, to try to possibly address that. It's I kind of like what they were working with in Mako zones. I liked that a little bit better than Clams. I think that helped them sort of set the pace a little bit. They just need to continue to paint for that carbon deco. So we'll get that answered here right now as to what they will ultimately bring out.
Ultimately, but again, Sai's gonna stick with that 96 tail deco. No, you don't need to change too fundamentally there. A little bit of tweaking here from Plob going over to the Wiper deco. On the other side, actually a little bit of a decent change, really, from 2 of the members. Nova and Milk playing different weapons. I think that's just the regular Splat Roller, if I'm not mistaken, and the Splash-O-Matic. So Crab Tank's back available, and now you got a big bubbler special to use. So I like this change, especially in the context of this tower control map for Inkling, where range could be very nice if you can position that Crab Tank well. That Crab Tank is still alive. Alive at the very least, but he did lose the roller right out of the gate. So, but either way, Krillstreak, I think these are some really good changes that they're dishing out.
Yeah, no, that was a fantastic analysis, Keon. I would wholeheartedly agree with that it kind of keeps the spirit of the comp from that last game that was working for quite some time, but makes key adjustments that are perfect for this map mode combination. As we now see the roller gonna dive this tower, but only going to be getting a trade out of it. The Inkjet popping out as well. It's gonna be crucial for this Inkjet to find at least one, but it's enough to at least scare the members of Splabooey to just scatter there, and I think that's going to buy enough opportunity for Krillstreak here to just continue to hold their positions. But no, Mart's going to get called out of position here, and that's going to be 3 down, actually. So Splabooey should be picking up this tower. There they go. And now they should be adding on more points to where they had left off with push number 1.
Look at Sai all the way deep into that territory with the Kraken, just able to deny 1, and then of course out of the Kraken gets punished accordingly, but it buys the team so much space. Milk wants to respond back in kind, shutting down the Crab Tank. That is not the second checkpoint, but at least a few more points on the board. So again, they're able to take out 3, just a little bit unfortunate from Krillstreak, which Splabooey was able to take full advantage of, but at the end of that, they lose 3. They got the big bowler at least available to at least get a push going. So maybe Krillstreak can try to respond as much as they can. Inkjet is being popped, but they gotta get somebody on that tower. There they go, past the first checkpoint. Mark may not be able to find anybody from what it looks like. Nope, and Mark's gonna retreat back, but that first checkpoint's been broken.
Yeah, and this is Krill Streak starting to figure it out here now. Just maybe a little bit too eager on trying to get that rail open. But at least they've now closed the gap once again. They're keeping this game within grasp. But for now, they're just gonna have to continue to, let the lead sit in Splabooey's favor. Try to find a way to live through this Kraken once again. This time it seems like they're much more ready for it. As Sai is not going to be able to find anybody this time with the Kraken, but it's still 2 members down on the side of Krill Streak. So a little bit of scattered once again. Is Krill Streak gonna have to find an answer, as they're gonna have to let this checkpoint probably go here.
Yeah, this checkpoint may start falling there unless nobody wants to stay on that tower. Now they do. It is at least the crucial second checkpoint broken and 2 members drop, which will signal an end to that push. But as you mentioned, though, Krill Streak's kind of all over the board in terms of where they want to be. Well, as soon as they say that, though, they find one pick. Bob's able to take advantage of this. Actually, it's going to be Splabooey finding the pick. My apologies. And now the Kraken's going off again, taking out a couple members. And again, Splabooey there, they're just taking out all the members of Krill Streak. Krill Streak continues to be scattered around the win here. Not much time left, so to speak here, DRF. They only got about a minute and 20, and if Splabooey is able to keep this one up, there's not going to be that much time left to get a counter push going.
No, there won't be. I mean, and Splabooey's just been so good with being patient. I mean, they consistently get a lot of ink down on the map, which allows players like the Wiper Deco to just find great places to hide themselves and then pop out when Krill Streak is least expecting it, because that's one thing that I think Krill Streak has done a lot here, is that they like to, stretch out and try to make individual plays, but you have to definitely find a buddy and consistently play with them here, as the bubble's gonna come out. Great timing there, but it's gonna ultimately cost 3 of their members. So with 30 seconds to play, they need to get back on this tower and find one last push in them.
That was a desperate Booyah Bomb too, just trying to save that tower on their zone. I'd like to think that they may want to save that Booyah Bomb for a little bit later there, because that is basically a Booyah Bomb they have to now start farming back. But maybe they can find members to pick off here. This could be good news for Krill Streak. The Krill Streak needs to find some of those openings. Maybe Nova's going to try to find something on the backside. They cannot find the picks. And Splabooey is probably going to end this here. 2 members have gone down. They just need to touch the tower. And Splabooey is able to win this 3rd map. All around, great team performance, really, from Splabooey overall.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they executed very well from start to finish there. So that's all to their credit. They faltered a little bit in round 1. They got swept there, but coming into round 2, it's a whole new team, and they're the ones doing the sweeping as they take the 3-0 over Krill Streak.
I mean, a few things to highlight here as well. They got the 3-0 over Krill Streak, as we're about to see replays of how this all panned out. And yeah, just the pick on the side. But Sai was able to get so many picks on the other side. Milk with a nice kill onto the crab tank to at least save the 2nd checkpoint, but it just wasn't enough. And we come down to the last 45 seconds. This was basically the last push that Krill Streak tried to make there with the big bubbler and everything else going on. But Milk gets completely sandwiched there. The crab tank, I think, got the pick. And then they just kept losing multiple members left and right. And yeah, the Booyah Bomb trying to save the push just really didn't get anything else for Krill Streak to get to the 2nd checkpoint. So Splabooey, I think they overall played this one super well. They were able to punish Krill Streak's positioning, trying to sniff for picks all around, and they just convert that to a 3-0. I also want to highlight here real quickly, even though we highlighted Sai in the first 2 maps, this was, I think, more of a great team performance all around. It's not just Sai. The rest of the team played that 3rd map excellently.
Oh, for sure. I mean, the coordination there was excellent. I think it took them a little bit of game 1. That's for sure. But once they got that push going in game 1, the teamwork there was phenomenal to follow. And they did an excellent job there of trying to isolate the members of Krill Streak, just to bring them to the side, kind of take them out, and just move on to the next person. There was a lot of 2v1 fights that Splabooey was taking, so phenomenal effort there. I do want to throw it here on the side of Krill Streak that, I don't quite know when they kind of came back from their hiatus, but it does make me very, very happy to see Krill Streak back in the game here. They were Ludi opponents back in Season 10 in Division 6 or something like that. So it's a phenomenal team. I'm just very happy to see them here.
I mean, just the team that, came out of that small hiatus and definitely is trying to show up for Loink. I mean, it speaks volumes to the fact that, hey, this team that has been around for such a long time and wanting to make their grand return in Loink. I think it's just excellent to see. But I know it's been a bit of a rough patch, especially with game 3-0 by Splabooey. I mean, if they keep their heads up throughout, maybe things will start to look up for them. But for now, they have to just focus onto the upcoming sets up ahead. But to your point, team that's just been around for such a long time. Everybody, to those who may still remember Krill Streak, way back when, I think a lot of fans, especially Krill Streak, would be happy to see them back for sure.
Yes, without a doubt. So one of my favorite low-level teams, and definitely a team that I fondly remember as, when I played with the UCSD team, we found, we worked our way up, and that's just one of the teams that I will remember most. So it always makes me very happy to see them here. So it was a pleasure to commentate them. But that's not it for our Loink action for today. There's still a lot more going on. Kyon, we have one more round ourselves with round 3 coming up. So we will have that for you all very, very soon. So I don't know if it's... So it sounds like actually we are getting word that we do have our next matchup ready. So we can go ahead and start to talk about that one. So this... Yeah, so we got our third match coming up here. Hey, it showed up here. There's a little bit of a thing we just got to quickly iron out. Yeah, Jellyfish Jam versus Arctic Star will be our third map there. As mentioned, both teams just gonna jump right into this one. First of all, at least from the team names themselves, not too familiar with both these teams, but I do want to highlight I like the team names overall though. So again, I'll say 10 out of 10 my books for both of these teams. Yeah, I would agree with you. Solid team names here, and two, very new names to the both of us. So it's going to be a little bit of a meet and greet for us as we get this round started. Going to be interesting to see, a little bit more about these teams. What are these comps going to be? I don't even know if they've played in like the most recent Loinks either. So yeah, like I said, it's going to be game 1 will be a bit of a speed date for us, Kyon.
Absolutely. And now for these two teams, they get to enter into a set where they get to enter Sturgeon Shipyard Rainmaker. Sturgeon's making its return again, huh? So at this point now you got the pedestal going pretty much at a very high ground. That's a path that a lot of teams would like to make. It's a very safe choice because the spawns aren't very conducive to defending that pedestal. Then you also have what I call a very spicy pedestal going on the right hand side where you will probably be meeting a lot of enemy squids around that. So I'm gonna be curious to see, depending on how the game goes, which push they want to make. I wouldn't be surprised though if either team wants to go for that left side pedestal, the one that's on higher ground.
Oh yeah, Rainmaker Sturgeon is a lot of fun. Don't tell that to my TZS teammates. It is genuinely a very fun map mode combination that I think that with the addition of the checkpoints, it actually really made this even more fun, as you now have to, there's a lot more coordination required in terms of trying to determine what the best path is. So I'm excited to see these two teams start out on this particular map mode combo. Another one that I feel like we really need to see more of.
So what you're telling me, DRF, is I should tell your TZS teammates later that maybe maybe they can play a lot more Sturgeon Rainmaker going forward, a little bit of a practice session. They will absolutely love it by the end of that. But to your point though, yeah, this is a very fun map overall. I think the addition of the checkpoints really may help this map a lot because it adds a little bit more of a dynamic in terms of which pathing you do want to take. And I'm sure they're probably yelling at me right now the minute we brought that up there. I know you're listening. But at this point though, we could talk about what weapons could work out here. But knowing these two teams, I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to be dishing out anything crazy here. But some of the more popular picks that we have seen so far, any weapon with basically a Krill or an Inkjet, your NZAP ballpoint. We've seen it in the previous two sets already. I wouldn't be surprised if any of these teams want to run those.
Certainly, those will be fantastic options to have here. If backlines are an option for these teams, that ballpoint's going to be very, very tempting to bring out. Sloshers, specifically Tri-Slosher, does fairly well here also. Sometimes the ledges might be a little bit too high for the poor little Tri-Slosher. But those are, kind of key things that I'm going to be looking out for. NZAPs for sure have really made their way into this current meta right now, although that will possibly change in, a couple weeks here. So we'll have to kind of wait and see on that one in particular. But these teams still getting readied up here. So
I mean, but to your point though, the vanilla Tri-Slosher, with that Inkjet and that Miss is a very good pick. But as you mentioned, very poor Tri-Slosher cannot go up there and try to paint to that to the higher elevation. So, but to your point though, I think that wouldn't be a very surprising pick overall, as we're about to load in here for this third set of loading today. There we go, everybody. So we've highlighted it before that hey, any weapon with an Inkjet or a Krill would be the best pick. Well, to my predictions, only one of them is correct. The NZAP from Aquasui being dished out here from Arctic Star on the purple side. Yellow side though, I mean, the very safe splash mag. You can't necessarily go wrong with that weapon either.
Yeah. So very interesting picks here. A lot of safe picks, but definitely some fun picks as well. The Nautilus is a very interesting one on the side of Jellyfish Jam. I felt like we got way too much Nautilus in Splatoon 2, and now in Splatoon 3, it's kind of a lost art. Where is Curly going? We clearly do not play this map mode enough. So that really adds to my argument. We need to play this one more. As Curly finally figures out, hey, this is how I get up to that first pedestal. As Nemo is doing a fantastic job here. We got the triple, but no one's there to continue this Rainmaker carry all the way to the pedestal. Finally gonna get a little bit of support here. They still can't get that pedestal.
So what kickstarted that push was multiple members dropping on the side of Jellyfish Jam, and then pretty much Curly takes the Rainmaker to Narnia, effectively, not able to know where the pedestal was. And to your point, maybe some more practice in Surgeon Rainmaker may be needed. That may be on the menu for Arctic Star in the near future. But for now, though, enough of that being said, it is 58 points range. Still a really nice push overall that they had, and they were able to win a lot of those fights, pretty much through team coordination though. Again, ignoring the Rainmaker push, that pretty much Rainmaker direction that it went, I think it was still a very solid push overall, even though they weren't able to get the checkpoint.
Oh, you were so wrong for that one, Kiona. But yeah, unfortunately, I think Curly's gonna be hearing that one quite a bit. Curly now gonna get a chance to redeem themselves a little bit, picking up this Rainmaker, doing a great job of pulling it back here, allowing a Nemo to just take point at this point to get a couple of picks. To try to lead the way, because it really seems like that blaster is what's key for this Arctic Star team, as the Crab is gonna shut down Rainmaker. That's gonna be 3 down. So Jellyfish Jam finally gonna get a push off here with almost half that timer gone. Oh man, we could not get Rainmaker pushes going on this top left side. Gonna try again here. Well, finally gonna get up to that pedestal, and they will get the dunk to at least get ahead of Arctic Star here.
I think we may need a couple of seconds to compose ourselves here. This Rainmaker has been a very tricky thing to navigate around, and especially in Sturgeon shipyard itself, I'll give both teams credit though. This is a very tricky pedestal to navigate around because you have to make a jump on that block and then make another jump, most likely in squid form, to get up there. So it is a little bit of a tricky jump you have to make as much as we call both these teams on. So, but again, it is a very safe push overall, and Jellyfish Jam was able to get the dunk down on that Rainmaker at the very least to, break through that first checkpoint. Nice snipe overall, by the way, onto from Muse. So that Nautilus is able to get some work done, and everybody's still fighting on this left-hand side. I think trying to save the Rainmaker. They do save it for now, but can Mew get any more out of this? They cannot. Surrounded by a sea of purple ink, and Arctic Star at least stops this push, but with all of the Rainmaker shenanigans that happened, we're down to 1:15 left. Really, that timer quickly went down on both of these teams.
This is really shaping up to be one of the Rainmaker games of all time. As Arctic Star continues to just get staggered here. That's a delayed wipe, and it looks like, Jellyfish Jam is ready to grab this Rainmaker, but this is that opportunity where we need to play this map mode more, because if you're Jellyfish Jam, you should know to pick up this Rainmaker and just dive forward with it. Just jump off the cliff. Just get the points, but they're going to go ahead and slow this one down, actually. Take it to the right side. Maybe a little bit more of a sustainable push. All the way down to 43 remaining. And this one is not over yet, as a couple members are still coming in here. The wipe are going to go down. The brush finally going to go down as well, at which the last two are going to be forced to back off a little bit here. So Arctic Star will get one last opportunity here, but they're going to have to take this one quite a ways. They still have a checkpoint to break through as well, which honestly might work to their favor here, as that will allow that Rainmaker timer to reset should they get to that checkpoint. But with 5 seconds to play, they are going to hit overtime here. And Curly is the last one standing here. It's not going to look good for them. But they do find the first pick. Going to have to start dodging the whale here. Somehow get the whale once again. Two more people coming. That's a wipeout! Oh my goodness! Curly with the flame here of the game, and that's gonna allow them to get all the way to the checkpoint. Curly seeking ultimate redemption here. Can they pull this one off? Oh my goodness! They just need to grab it and just dive off, and that should be enough. But no, the spinners comes down, and it's not gonna be enough there. Jellyfish Jam. Oh, wow. That was, in fact, one of the Rainmaker games of all time.
I'm gonna need to compose myself here. DRF, what is it with us getting very silly Rainmaker maps that we've had in the past? What is any of what we have witnessed here? I'm sure chat's trying to figure out exactly what exactly happened at maybe the last 40 seconds by itself. We're gonna need to spend some time and think about this. Resetting back to serious mode, the initial push started off so well for Arctic Star, and then so a little bit of buffoonery with the pedestal location. Unfortunately, did not met the first time it could be broken. Jellyfish Jam able to convert the first checkpoint, and then the fight continued on into that elevation. For whatever reason, they wanted to fight. They wanted to continue fighting and pick up that Rainmaker where it stood. And then we're gonna get all the replays here. I hope to goodness we get replays in the last minute of that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of things we gotta think about, DRF.
I mean, first of all, Anemo, was phenomenal in this game for Arctic Star. With that opening triple, Anemo was constantly the one paving the path for their team. And it was just, that was just amazing to watch. But it just felt like the rest of their team was never quite going with Anemo there. We've kind of been poking our Curly here a little bit, but I mean, Curly was phenomenal in this overtime push here. How do you dance your way out of this one? They did a phenomenal job dodging a couple of different specials there, and really 5 times that Jellyfish Jam had dived on them, somehow squeaked out there, and ultimately almost got this one off as well. Just was not quite there. I think Jellyfish Jam slipped on through, managed to take out a couple members, and it put them at a numbers disadvantage that was just not enough for them to work with. That was probably the singular sorry, well, it's up there now. I would say top 5 Rainmaker games that I have commentated.
I think it's already up there for me. That was a Rainmaker map of all time. I know Barnacle and Dime Clan Blitz is coming up, but I do want to make a quick note here. I know we've been giving Curly a very hard time with that initial go around with that Rainmaker. That may have been the big difference, but I mean, you gotta applaud the fact that Curly had some amazing feet work with the Rainmaker, able to just dodge all of the shots. At many points in my head, I thought they were pretty much done. The push is over. Jellyfish Jam is gonna win it right there. And Curly was able to keep themselves alive. At the end of the day, though, Jellyfish Jam wins that one. We're gonna go straight to Barnacle and Dime Clan Blitz. We gotta reset ourselves. Audience, myself,
yes, we do.
And DRF. We gotta try Sasha here. That's what we expected, probably from the previous one. And Aquasu's back is on the ball point. So now we got double Inkjet actually on the side of Arctic Star. Jellyfish Jam, though, they're gonna be sticking to something interesting because I do see the squeezer that's there from Jellyfish Jam.
Oh, and a very quick 2 down on the side of Jellyfish Jam. Make that 3. So, a great start here for Arctic Star. Gonna quickly find their way towards the basket here. This one is gonna be very quick and easy. It's right in front of you, so nowhere you can really go other than straight on this one. But not gonna be able to really get much there. They do get the first power clam in. I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of follow-up here as Curly's going to use that Reef Slider, and that's going to actually do some damage here, but that's a one-and-done push. I think the great thing, though, is with that Reef Slider, Curly allows Arctic Star to maintain an aggressive position. Now they just need someone to go back and pick up some clams and get another one going.
Clam gathering has to be insanely key from Arctic Star at this point because, yeah, to your point, that is a lot of painting that Arctic Star just took advantage of close to Jellyfish Jam's base as Aqua was able to take out Vortex and able to get out of the Crab Tank's range entirely, but we do see multiple members of Arctic Star going down, and it will be the Squeezer actually dropping on the other side there as well. So now it's a bit of a reset there. Jellyfish Jam's now trying to get control of mid and then possibly get a push of their own up ahead. And yeah, to your point though, the restart probably is going to be the thing to look out for, especially in terms of painting from Arctic Star and control that they really needed. So Jellyfish Jam, they just have to slightly adjust and be ready for it.
Certainly, as Jellyfish Jam has solid control of this clam economy right now. Power Clam plus 10 more distributed between that Splash and Rush. And now with 2 members going down on the side of Arctic Star, the second Power Clam gets built. And they are just going to march right in. The first Power Clam gets in. The second one should follow suit. Yes, it will. But the question is, can they get any more in on top of that? It's going to seem unlikely here, but the Brush going to do whatever they can to just slip on by, and that they do. Finally going to get shut down here. That should be the end of this push. 48 points remaining is a great opening push for Jellyfish Jam. Arctic Star going to have to match that one in the second half.
They definitely have to match that push, and the same intensity from Arctic Star needs to follow suit here, as we do see Vortex able to, try to paint some of that area for Jellyfish Jam to make use of. And to your point, though, you got 2 Pyro Clams. Curly was able to at least stop multiple members on that restart alone, but they have to go a little bit more as that. Yeah, they do lose lead off of it so quickly, and now we do see Animo trying to pop the bubbler in a very interesting location, and unfortunately going down as fast as they did. But 2 members are down from Jellyfish Jam, so Arctic Star is still trying to brawl, trying to get some semblance of control as much as they can here. Aqua's using that Inkjet. Can Aqua find a few picks here? Doesn't look like they will. In fact, going down with the Inkjet, so it's just been an all-out brawl here, DRF. After we saw the initial pushes, both teams just kind of fighting around mid, trying to see if they can get control first.
Yeah, that's exactly what's kind of going on here. It's both teams struggling for control now. Arctic Star has the slight advantage in mid, but with the Tri-Slosher going down, that's going to force Arctic Star to take a bit of a step back here. The second player going to go down now. It's Curly on those Tetras, and they definitely could have used the Reef Slider right at about this moment, but no, they're going to have to come out of spawn and rebuild that. And now the first Power Clam comes in. The second one's going to come in. Once again, a 2 Power Clam push out of Jellyfish Jam, plus some change on top of it. And they're going to have to dunk these last 2 and just get out. And that's exactly what they will do. 19 points remaining with 1 minute to go. a great spot for Jellyfish Jam to be in, as Arctic Star not going to opt to pick up that pity clam. So once again, kind of missing out on a bit of an opportunity here. Gonna have to really fight this one from scratch in the last 30 seconds.
Very interesting decision to not pick up the pity clam to spawn the other one. That could have been 2 power glams they could take advantage of, as 2 members going down right out of the gate from Jellyfish Jam, which at this point though, Jellyfish Jam probably gonna lose a little bit of coverage there from their own base. We do see that Tri-Slasher able to take him out, able to take full advantage of the range, not able to take out the Ink Brush though. We see 2 members dropping again, but where is that power clam push that Arctic Star needs at this point? They're still taking out multiple members, but no push, no offense so far. They're still just kind of busy collecting clams at this stage. We're on to overtime here. Aqua has the Inkjet that's available, pops it, but their associated team member goes down, and they have to pick up the power clam themselves. Denied entirely, and this is likely going to spell the end of overtime here soon, unless Arctic Star has a last-minute push, but they are 3 down, and this will be 2-0 for Jellyfish Jam coming up here shortly. A little bit more control compared to whatever hecticness we had from the first map overall, DRF.
Yeah, definitely. That was a much more standard game from these 2 teams, as the pace slowed down quite a bit there. There was much more textbook clam blitz. Jellyfish Jam did a fantastic job there. 2 pushes, bringing the score all the way down to 19 remaining. 2 power clams on each of those pushes, plus the change in their pockets to bring that all the way down to that game-winning score. So Arctic Star, though, I mean, they did phenomenal early on. I thought Curly had some great reef sliders there, but once again, it just felt like that with Arctic Star, there was, consistently someone making a play, but there just was never a follow-up. And that's what I really would love to see Arctic Star work on moving forward and jumping into this last game, because I see a lot of potential with this team. I think there just needs to be, a little bit more coordination to really tie it together for them, and I think that they'll start to have bigger games here. So I'm really hoping for the best out of them in this final game of round 3.
Yeah, Arctic Star had a lot of good-looking setups there, not just from the first map, but also the second map alone. They had almost a really decent game plan, able to win a couple of these fights. They just had to clean up some of the objective-based stuff that they needed to do. Like, in multiple cases, you saw Arctic Star just taking out multiple members of Jellyfish Jam, at least 2 going down at the same time. But they just couldn't convert that to a push. Most of that focus, I think they're trying to probably play a little bit more aggressive, more to their style of tempo, but they just weren't able to get any of that power clams going. So there's a lot of potential that Arctic Star has, even though, again, we may have been highlighting some of the not great moments there, but I think this team has so much potential to, make it as far as they can, not just here in Loing, but also in other places in general. So I'd love to see this group totally improve. And again, salvage mode for Arctic Star coming into Hagglefish zones. Range is the name of the game. I wouldn't be surprised if either team wants to dish it out, as we're about to load in here, DRF. And with these compositions, we see not much in the change in the way of Jellyfish Jam, but overall changes from Arctic Star. Okay.
I love this, though, because they instantly said, we've got to run the double trip strike, and that is absolutely the right call. I was kind of thinking, I was like, I think the double inkjet would work, but I would love to see a little bit more inking ability on the side of Arctic Star, and that's exactly what they opted for. So I think these are some great changes, as of course they lose their 2 trip strike players, as I say that. So Jellyfish Jam, though, gonna get the early advantage here and stand by as usual, just trying to find places for them to hang out and surprise a couple members here. Able to find one. Oh, the second one slips on by. Gonna ultimately find them. There we go. So Jellyfish Jam, they really need to deal with this Splash player, because they're just going to continue to find places to hide and surprise them. And then they're going to get a crab, get back in the zone, and just mow them down.
Yeah, at this point for Jellyfish Jam, just that initial start just completely pushes them up, and standby with just some great camping spots to surprise the rest of Arctic Stars. So they've been able to take most of the advantages wherever they could. And Arctic Stars just having a hard time even making it to mid, and 2 members going down is not helping their cause. Effectively a delayed wipeout, and Jellyfish Jam is looking to be in the driver's seat for this 3rd map here, DRF, unless there is a miracle push from Arctic Star. They have to make something happen. Again, the NZAP drops it. They're able to flip the point in the other side despite going 3 down. 5 more time for Arctic Star. Oh my goodness.
That was great. That is the type of coordination we wanted to see out of Arctic Star. And they got that special coordination down at the very least, coming in the absolute right time. Now we need to see them kind of repeat that because this penalty timer is dissipating quickly. So there's the first trip strike, but not going to be able to make a move in towards the zone. They're only going to find the neutral once again. The Zap going to try to play from behind. They're going to have to get the wiper. Can they do? No, they missed the wiper. Wait, they got the tree. Okay, well, that's funny Splatoon moment there. But, you know, that's going to ultimately do it. They needed to get that clean pick, but they just quite couldn't. And Jellyfish Jam, in dominant fashion, will take game number 3 to complete the sweep.
Each map from Jellyfish Jam just gets more and more convincing overall. This was definitely Jellyfish Jam's game from the minute they took out 3 and then just pushed on the zone. Vortex and standby. A little bit of a fist bump in front of the audience here. Excellent stuff overall. But yeah, to your point, Arctic Star, we'd like to see a lot of the coordination that they were definitely showing from previous maps, but they just got completely exited. They basically got ran out of the building basically in this map alone, as we are about to see replays of standby, you know, waiting in the wings to surprise any of the members as much as they can. One of them did slip by the end of it, but they were able to get them at the end of the day, so delayed double just by hunting and being patient. And we are going to be seeing the flip here. I'm trying to figure out what happened. Yeah, it was the triple ink strike coordination you called out there, throwing everything onto that zone. It worked out nicely, but after that, they just couldn't get their offense restarted. And Jellyfish's Jam's game just continued on.
Yeah, and then here comes that last NZAP play. They needed that to be a clean pick on the wiper, but just couldn't quite get there. I think if they do, they flip that zone and extend the game a little bit longer. But I mean, all the credit to Jellyfish Jam. They did a great job there of executing. Once game 1 got cleaned up a little bit, the next 2 games was just easy for them. They just found the groove and knew exactly how to respond to this Arctic Star team.
But also to the point of Arctic Star, I mean, Arctic Star, I know they got blanked out. We said it in the previous 2 sets, but definitely it might seem a little demoralizing that the more the set progressed, the more it started to become convincing for Jellyfish Jam. But I think this group has a lot of potential to make a lot of noise later on. There is just a lot of stuff they do need to clean up for sure. But at the end of the day, though, I think I can see a lot of potential with this team really going far in future tournaments, even future lowings to note too. So for Arctic Star, those listening in, you know, there's still a lot of time. You guys there's still a lot of chances to definitely improve, maybe get even better record sets than lowings. Definitely don't feel too demoralized by the end of it.
And hey, I mean, lowing ain't over either. They're sitting at 1 and 2 right now. If they can kind of clean out the next 3 rounds, they're gonna still find their way into our bracket. So that's just what they're gonna have to focus on moving forward. On the flip side of that, Jellyfish Jam now up at 2 and 1, which puts them in a good position moving forward. Gonna just have to continue to find ways to execute on those last 3 rounds to just maintain some of that momentum that we saw out of them here in the back half of this set.
Absolutely. So we'll be curious to see how all the teams at this point progress further in lowing. But DRF, I think that's gonna be it for us for this block here. So it's always a pleasure to commentate with you every time. Where can the great people find you, DRF?
Oh, you can go ahead and find me on Twitter at DRF_Splatoon and on Twitch at TritonDRF. But per usual, you can find me over at the Collegiate Cephalopod Association running all things Collegiate Splatoon. Be sure to check them out. Keone, where can the people of our chat find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter or on Twitch, Keon2570. I also help cast for the Collegiate Cephalopod Association as well. So they're very, very awesome folks. There are a lot of college players up and rising as well. For those wondering, Ink Black definitely won on the board. We were very excited to cast as well. So,
Yep.
I mean, yeah, for both of us, it meant a lot for both of us here today. But yeah, you can follow me, Twitter and Twitch, Kiln2570. Smash that follow button if you want to follow for all of the fun content all around. So I think, but yeah, DRF, that's gonna be it for both of us. New casters will be coming up here shortly. Yes.
All right, stay tuned. You do not want to miss this.
by the end of this one, and we're gonna be seeing that Inkjet is just going off again. Mini's just having the performance of their life here, and this is a very resounding second map victory for Ink Black. It's been picked up so far. Oh, they did lose a shot, but no harm, no foul there. Silk's gonna pop those 10 missiles, so to speak, and it looks like they're just gonna try to set up again for another push.
Yeah, just you don't have to force anything if you're Ink.
Look at Sai all the way deep into that territory with the Kraken, just able to deny one. And then, of course, out of the Kraken gets punished accordingly, but it buys the team so much space. Milk wants to respond back in kind.
Wait, Krill is seeking ultimate redemption here. Can they pull this one off? Oh my goodness, they just need to grab it and just dive off, and that should be enough. But no, the spinners comes down, and it's not gonna be. Use the reef slider right at about this moment, but no, they're gonna have to come out of spawn and rebuild that. And now the first power clamp comes in. The second one's gonna come in once again. A 2 power clamp push out of Jellyfish Jam plus some change on top of it here. And standby as usual, just trying to find places for them to hang out and surprise a couple members here. Able to find one. Oh, the second one slips on by. Gonna ultimately find them. There we go. So Odd could be able to make a move in towards the zone. They're only going to find the neutral once again. The Zap going to try to play from behind. They're going to have to get the wiper. Can they do? No, they missed the wiper. Wait, they got the tree. Okay, well, that's funny Splatoon moment there.
Welcome back, everyone. It is a beautiful weekend for some splatting. I'm Lily Graviebread, and I'm here with Greg, and we will be taking you through to the end of day one of this low ink. How are you feeling, Greg?
I'm feeling good. Ready to see how the second half of today finishes out. We have a great match coming into right here. Bagel Time versus Double Trouble. Excited to see what these teams can do.
Yeah, me too. I'm very excited. These are going to be matches up. First, I think we're going to be playing Tower Control and Macromart as well. So let's see what they bring out here. I know that this map in particular has been always a very popular one for buckets, and with buckets in the spot they are in the meta right now, which is to say pretty strong, I'd say. I do hope to see some bucket gaming, but what do you think, Greg?
I think if I'm a team named Double Trouble, I maybe double up on special or double up on weapons just to commit to the bit. But maybe they don't take it as literally as I do. I could definitely see. I could definitely see.
I do love the idea of committing to the bit. Mm-hmm.
For sure. It looks like we're gonna get underway here in round 4 of our Swiss kicking off right now.
Yeah, it does look like actually we're seeing it does look like we're seeing 2 buckets already, which is great to see. On Bagel Time actually, so not Double Trouble. Double Trouble is playing a fairly standard looking meta comp, including an NZAP, which is something I've definitely been grinding out lately, as well as the Splash, and which unfortunately goes down right there. It looks like it's a bit of a scrappy fight at the beginning, looking to take control of that stack right now. But it does seem to be that Bagel Time manages to actually find an opening to actually get on the tower and get another pick as well on top of that to keep this tower going to the first checkpoint, Greg.
Yeah, Bagel Time with the early advantage, starting to just trickle the members of Double Trouble. See if they can get some help on this side by the Wiper. Not going to happen as the Inkjet is supporting from above. But now we see Bagel Time popping their own Inkjet to see if maybe that can finally finish off the Wiper. It looks like they're going to be just a little too elusive to get taken out there.
Yeah, however, Bagel Time does have a good amount of paint control still, and Double Trouble needs to really be able to break out into mid in order to be able to get this tower going in the other direction. We haven't even broken the first checkpoint yet, but we might be able to find an opportunity here to do so with 2 members down. Make that 3 on the side of Double Trouble, Greg.
Yeah, we love to see the Trizuka getting a timely pick there. That's going to allow the first checkpoint to be cleared, and they're not quite done yet. The Inkjet's going to come out here. It looks like they do have the crab tank ready. They're going to pop that on defense now, try to defend the second checkpoint, but I like this pressure here from the sloshing machine, kind of forcing them back, not able to really get any kills with that crab, and they are going to clear that second checkpoint.
Yeah, the second checkpoint absolutely crucial to be able to get through. It looks like even with the pressure from that crab coming out, they definitely managed to make quick work of that checkpoint for sure. But as they have lost the tower just briefly, we're seeing the machine here trying to find picks, trying to keep that frontline pressure up still, just to hold them back. Getting a great 2 picks, looking for a third one as well, or at least trying to get them out of there. Oh my goodness, this is kind of really good, but really incredible bucket gaming, as I said. I was hoping to look for anyway, but we are seeing this defensive Inkjet come out, hoping to try and clear out Bagel Time from mid.
It looks like finally Double Trouble's able to contest mid a little. They're going to chase with this hammer, but the Soda just gets a quick jump out, but they are going to get a little revenge kill there, throwing the flick, so gets a trade, and now for the first time it's going to be Double Trouble riding the tower.
Yeah, Double Trouble definitely at this point has the opportunity, or at least it can find the opportunities that they need, but unfortunately it is just a 3v3, but the Inkjet is coming out trying to support this push as well, getting a pick on Andre coming out from behind. That was a great watching out for that flank as well, which could have been a little bit of a disaster for Double Trouble, but they do only have a few points on the board at this moment, looking for some more as they take the tower to the first checkpoint.
It's a good opportunity here if they can deal with this machine. They're not going to be able to. See if they can at least clear the checkpoint, but they're going to get rushed down, and yeah, not going to be able to do that. So again, Bagel Time holding up on defense right now, and going to see if they can just push this in as some desperate jumps come in, but they're not going to be able to get anything done. It's going to be all control of Bagel Time right now as the Zuka does come out.
Yeah, the Zuka come out getting a great pick down. That wipeout was huge for Bagel Time as well. Not to say that their pushes before weren't huge before, but you know, this is where Double Trouble actually is going to be kind of worrying just a little bit, just to try and make sure that they can break back in. Looks like they are kind of going down 2 players, but they managed to take out that shot as well. So with this Booyah coming out to try and clear out that checkpoint, looks like Bagel Time is going to be really attempting to take it to the end at the moment if Double Trouble aren't able to actually get back on and neutralize the tower.
It'll look like another pick came out with the Zuka, and then there is the Tri-Slosher to help finish it up. The machine has been doing a lot of work this game, but now it looks like all members of Bagel Time contributing on this push, just getting them just even deeper and deeper, clear the 3rd checkpoint. They're going to have to rush if they want to get KO'd, and it is going to be Bagel Time getting the KO game 1.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I think that was definitely a testament not just to the buckets that they had on the side of Bagel Time, but also being able to consistently keep up that paint control as well, just to make it difficult for Double Trouble to be able to break back in and to slow them down as much as possible, because you know, without that paint control you can't win those fights and you can't really find that footing to be able to start pushing objective, even though they did at one point, and we saw at the point that they really did have that pin control there with them. But for most of that game, definitely Bagel Time was in the prime position to be able to push checkpoint after checkpoint.
Yeah, and the team comp just kind of all feeds together with that. The machine we saw was just a menace underneath those ledges, really keeping the ball point back, keeping everybody back. And then they were just able to follow the tower path along the ledges, but they're not able to do that unless the Zap is there kind of painting their retreat, so that way they can continue to move around, not have to paint their feet so much. So that really helped them out, and then just timely picks from the Inksuka and everything else really just worked for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And we did see them here in this replay. Actually, this was, I think, one of the many wipeouts we saw in the game that really helped them to be able to just take up so much ground and actually move the tower from one checkpoint to the next as well. And there's the other wipeout as well that happened towards the end. This was definitely something that would have been very difficult to break out of, and you're really trying to avoid having those wipeouts happen to you if you're on the side of Double Trouble, but still being able to find that opening and be able to know exactly when to push. Double Trouble recognized that and managed to take the tower, at least to get some points on the table for them, which was definitely great to see, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they managed to do on Rainmaker Scorch Gorge as well.
Yeah, I think if you're Double Trouble, you can't get too discouraged, because while Machine, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a bad map for Machine, this map definitely not as strong for Machine as Tower Mako, so I would not have to worry about them as much. And I also think your Wiper is probably gonna fare a little better here if you do decide to stick with that, but we'll see if they end up holding pat or if they do decide to switch things up as a response to what they saw game 1.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see them, to see the Wiper come out actually again on the side of Double Trouble, which we saw a little bit of, but you know, as you said, this is a much better map for Wiper. It can come out quite strong, especially in Rainmaker, where you can help really clear a path and make a safe route to carry that Rainmaker in. But we are actually seeing an Ink Brush coming out on Cullen, which is definitely an interesting switch up here.
Yeah, the Machine got it done, but now they're totally changing up, going with an Ink Brush for this map. So it's going to be interesting to see which team. They're going right in with the pop, and then immediately the Killer Whale is coming out on the side of that brush, finding some opponents, and it looks like, yeah, jammed up in a corner. There's going to be 2 members of Double Trouble. They will get taken out, but teammates able to trade at least one, but they're going to have to go on the retreat right away, and this first checkpoint is in danger of being contested unless the ballboy can make a big play here.
Yeah, it looks like that was a free checkpoint for them. Unfortunately, the ballpoint looking around for that pick was not able to get one, but you know, I think on defense they are going to be coming out with this Inkjet. Anyway, getting a great pick as well, looking to try and push them out even further, but you know, Double Trouble needs to have control of mid to be able to make anything happen for themselves. They are getting the Tacticooler out, so maybe they can make something happen here, Greg.
Now everybody has been hydrated. Tacticooler coming out on both sides, and it's going to be Bagel Time just kind of keeping their distance right now. I would be a little worried. Here comes the hammer coming out. That's what I was worried about. It is going to find 2. or one member and then the second there gonna get the trade on. So this is a great opportunity here for Double Trouble. If they can just take out this brush, they will. And all of a sudden tie game now with the checkpoint broken.
Oh, that was some great coordinated special play, I have to say, and that's definitely what we needed to see from Double Trouble to be able to break that checkpoint, but we are seeing them actually run it even further. 2 plays have gone down on their side, however, but getting down to a score of 48 is pretty good. This is something that Bagel Time definitely has to try and break out from, but you know, I'm enjoying seeing Double Trouble's constant pressure up here. This is something that they didn't have the last game, but it's definitely working out in favor for them as well. Unfortunately, they are losing a bit of mid here to Bagel Time, who has picked up the Rainmaker and is starting to carry it through just slowly and surely, but we can see a flank coming out. It does look like that gets quickly punished.
Unfortunate there, the hammer play gets taken out immediately, and really they're not too worse off for it right now as Bagel Time is taking their time. That's going to allow just more specials to come out on the side of Double Trouble. They are not going to be able to find the pick there. Somehow doesn't get the jump either, and they are going to get taken out. Now, golden opportunity here for Bagel Time. They're actually going to take it on the left side. A little strange of a route, but they are going to get the points, get the lead, and now just Rainmaker carry getting dove on by 3 members of Double Trouble. They will back out there safely, so they are going to have a good position to defend this.
Oh yeah, that was one of those rare opportunities where you can take it through the great street. As we saw, the fight was definitely happening over on the complete other side of the map. So when you have the opportunity to run it over there with all the players kind of distracted on the other side, that's definitely what you can do. And we saw them even be able to take the lead of Double Trouble at this point, who's coming back with the pop, but they are going to have to watch out for the Zuka as well as Buster goes down, unfortunately, but they are responding with the Inkjet, hopefully being able to clear out this choke point to be able to get this lead back, which is really what they're looking for at the moment.
I think maybe the ballpoint might have just saved the game by taking out the Rainmaker carrier there. The Crab Tank was in great position. No, they do have the Rainmaker now. They see that bomb. Oh my gosh. They will manage to survive, with their teammate won't, so they're gonna have to just stay back for now. As you can see, Bagel Time players just pushing in through their snipe. The Rainmaker's gonna get pinched here. These jumps are in trouble. The Rainmaker's in trouble.
Yeah, they were getting bombed out there, definitely locked into that corner, but it does look like, oh my goodness, they managed to get, Double Trouble manages to get, hang on, someone manages to get the wipe out there. It looks like Bagel Time has 3 specials online at the moment, and they are going to be taking up all of mid, trying to push back to be able to retain their lead that they already have.
So Wiper maybe going to do something on the flank here. We saw them kind of drop on the left side. Meanwhile, Way pushed up. Is that the Wiper is just sitting back? Now the Rainmaker did reset. I was a little worried there that the Rain was just going to get scooped up. That's not going to happen. Instead, just a trade for the Wiper, and this ball point has just been locking out all of Double Trouble right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this ballpoint is definitely the great pick for their team at the moment. But we are seeing, however, it looks like we might be stalling out this game for the last 30 seconds. As Bagel Time knows that they have the lead here, they don't necessarily have to pick this up. But unfortunately, Double Trouble is definitely trying to make something happen in mid here as they start looking around for a fight, trying to find that final opportunity to get a lead on them. But you know, the first thing they need to do is win this fight.
Oh my gosh, how was that a trick? Oh man, unfortunate, but Double Trouble's gonna have to pop the Rainmaker one more. They are gonna get it picked up, so they are gonna have one more opportunity here. You have to be careful with the Zuka. The Zuka's gonna come out, and looks like the splash damage with the Zuka along with the Killer Whale is gonna end this one. Bagel Time holding on, getting the win.
Oh my goodness, yeah, Bagel Time getting this second win, taking this set, but there is one more game left to go of this set as well, and Double Trouble has been getting their footing, especially in that game, getting a great lead on Bagel Time around the middle of the game, so I'm looking to see if they're able to win the next one, climb the pump track. I have to say, I think that definitely the hammer was, the Ultra Stamp was working out for them in that second game, but you know, it's another one that I think can work here on Humpback Pump Track as well, so I'm curious to see what they managed to bring out.
Yeah, I think really we saw kind of both games there. Double Trouble just a little too reluctant to give up on some of their pushes. We saw some of the members jumping in when whoever was playing the objective was in peril already, and that ended up leading to some team wipes, which opened up some big opportunities for Bagel Time. I think if they can just play a little more patient. They definitely have the skills in order to get the splats they need to open up some opportunities. I think they just don't need to force it quite as much as they have been, and they may be able to get something done here.
Yeah, absolutely. This was one of those moments where, you know, when you have those 3 players down, you can just get that free push in as well. So this is, as you were saying, being able to get those picks, win those fights, that's definitely what Bagel Time was able to do both of these games in order to get their pushes going. We saw this was a great coordinated push, I have to say, from Double Trouble, and I want to see more of this in the next game as well. Being able to not only get the hammer up, but also the crab tank and the inkjet to follow up and everything, just to clear out anyone who might be defending on the side of Bagel Time. Definitely a great moment for their team as well. Also, as we mentioned, taking the greats route as well to get that lead on the side of Bagel Time was fantastic too.
Yeah, and that's kind of the moment I was thinking of. We said one member jumped in, got taken out, then the wiper got jumped in and taken out. Just really trapped in that corner, weren't able to do too much. And then this, I still don't know how this happened. So they hit him a couple times at the ball point, and then I guess maybe they fired off his inkjet shot. It seemed like they were just getting airborne, but man, what a trade that was.
That was definitely a trade. Oh man, I'm gonna have to like go back and watch this stream once again just to like slow it down and go frame by frame just to see exactly what was happening there. But like at least getting the replay. Definitely, man. I just want to see that trade again actually. But soon we will be going into Clam Blitz Compact Pump Track, and it does look like we might see what these weapon comps are. If they're gonna change things up. Perhaps. We are seeing Tetrajulies actually.
Wow.
Tetrajulies here. Okay, this is different once again. Looks like they might be actually swapping out on the back line, swapping on the back line, which I think is pretty interesting, I have to say.
Interesting, we don't see Tetrajulies all set, and both teams decide that Humpback Lambs is the map to bring them out here. So we see another early advantage going on, but a lot of scrapping in mid. There's really no advantage so far. Both teams only with a few clams in their name. Looks like a ball may finally get formed here, but the Zook is going to come out first. Not quite able to find everybody, but 2 go down anyway. And now this is going to be an opportunity for a push.
Yeah, if they can get the rest of the team up, however, because it does look like at least they do have the power clam, which is going in and breaking the barrier at the moment, but they just need the rest of the team to follow up on. They don't have a lot of clams here, so it does look like I'm predicting this is going to be a dead push at this moment, 1 minute into the game. Entree making sure that they are clearing out, or at least pressuring behind the bunker there. We can see them keep up all of this mid control, which is great to see, however, Greg.
Yeah, now this is a scary place to have a Tetra pushing this far up, harassing the ball point. They will get the trade, but another member of the Tri-Slash are already there. They are providing jumps. It doesn't look like a ball is formed quite yet. They might want to try to make one on the fly. It's actually going to be a player on the bottom side that's going to form one, and now look how pushed up they are. And this Reef Slider not going to be able to get it done. They are actually going to get taken out, and now pushed way up are the members of, of Bagel Time.
It does look like they this was the push they definitely needed. It was kind of like a little bit heartbreaking to see that Reef Slider get punished like that. But you know that's the situation Reef Slider's in Splatoon at the moment. It does look
they're
like
one clam away from KOing. Is there anybody around?
It does look like they need to find something.
We'll get taken out. They do have clams available. They jumped in. They got it.
Oh, they got it as well, man. That was definitely a pushable time at the end. But you know, it's definitely scary when you have the opportunity to get that one clam in and you don't have it on your team. This is actually why I really love Clam Blitz the most out of all modes in the games, because you can get the wipeout, but if you don't have the team coordination to follow up on that wipeout and to collect those clams, form those power clams, then you won't be able to get a free push off of those wipeouts like you necessarily can in the other modes. And we saw there, that's exactly what was going on.
Yeah, that is a scary map because it's just kind of smaller, so you know, when you get a push going and you're throwing clams, you don't necessarily have to travel much of a distance away from the basket to go find some more. We saw that Bagel Time was just able to keep that clam supply ready, and it's just because it's so small. If you wipe on defense, you are in danger of getting KO'd. That's exactly what happened there. As you see, just members keep going down, and they always just had some more clams, and they had a player in mid. They kept just alternating. Good communication on their part to know, who's staying pushed up, who's getting kills, who's going back and getting clams, because that's, when you're getting these many kills, that really is the only way the push is going to stop, is if you end up just losing communication and not paying attention to the objective, and you run out of clams on your own.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely fantastic teamwork from Bagel trying to put trouble putting up the fight as well in defense. Unfortunately, they did go down towards the end of that game, but you know what? I think it was definitely great to see them play against that team. In all 3 games, they did such a great job.
And so I believe we are going to take a breather for now, but in the meantime, we'll take a look at we can take a look at some of the scores for what we just saw in round 4, and we'll be back in a little bit. Hello everybody, welcome back to Low Ink. We're getting ready to start our round 5 of Swiss. My name is Greg and I'm joined here by Lily. Lily, how are you doing?
I'm pretty good. I'm excited. I've been really enjoying watching the stream and commentating so far with you, actually, I have to say. And we'll be looking at this next match at the moment. We're looking at the rosters of Tesco's Finest and ToolBox. I'm curious to see what they bring to the table. These are not teams that that has been necessarily on my radar, but I'm definitely excited by these names. Tesco's Finest. For those in the UK, I'm sure you're familiar with Tesco for sure. But I'm also curious to see what ToolBox have stored in their toolbox on Splat Zone's Wahoo World. Now, Splat Zone's Wahoo World. This is
What year is this?
This is one of the Splat Zones maps of all time. I think this is one I actually really enjoy. I gotta say, the round zone is pretty fun. It's a little bit different. What kind of things are you expecting here, Greg? Actually,
It's gonna be interesting to see. I know Tesco's Finest, they seem like they're a more short-range comp. They do have at least one member who seems like they could bring out a ballpoint though. This map, I know a lot of people, if you have a charger, this might be one to pull it out because you do have those walls you can kind of peek behind. Same thing applies for the Splatlings though too, though they just don't really have the one-shot potential. But I think this map's a little overhated. I tend to like it. I think a lot of things work on it. I think it's fun. I would be interested to see if anybody goes with kind of the more displacement specials, because this map, I think one of the unique kind of qualities of it is, you know, while obviously it's nice to splat your opponent, that makes it so they can't paint the zone. If you can use something like a killer whale, use something like a rain that forces people to just drop from the elevated circle where the zone is, that really kind of just effectively stops them from painting the zone for several seconds. Not quite as good as a splat, but it's the next best thing, so I feel like those specials work a little better here than they would on your typical zones map, because otherwise they are just able to kind of step aside, avoid them, but still put pressure on the zone.
yeah, that's true. You don't want to be stuck down in that carousel or court when you really want to be up there pressuring the zone and pushing out the other team, which can definitely be like a good strategy, I think, to be able to get those strong leads here. But once again, with a good coordinated push, and actually I do believe that with like good coordinated special plays, you can definitely make very quick comebacks as well, to very quick retakes as well, I believe here. So not all hope is necessarily lost when you do get stuck down there a little bit, but it is always going to be a great advantage to be able to push people down into their court, into their carousel, and to be able to just hold them back as you gain that high ground for the rest of your team here on Wahoo zones.
I'm intrigued with what ToolBox pulls out, because they do seem like they're living up to their name based on their Sendo bio. They have a pretty deep roster and every weapon class represented among players in that roster, so we'll see what they go with here. It looks like we are going to see double Slosher coming out, Machine and V-Slosher on their side, so nobody going for super long range. We are going to see a Tent Umbrella come out, though, on the side of Tesco's Finest, which will be interesting.
Yeah, man, I hope they got a good discount on that Tent Umbrella from Tesco, because it's already making a big play, helping them get that zone very early on. But two players have gone down. They're gonna still stay alive with the help of their Umbrella Shield. Hopefully they can hold this for a bit longer. Unfortunately, they have lost lead here, and it does go back to the side of ToolBox as well, who's going to continue up their momentum with those tri-strikes, looking out for anyone who might be coming out on the left-hand side as well. Let's see if they can get this crab. It does look like actually the Booyah makes quick work of that crab, and they're going to be looking around for the other pick and getting it on Oblivion as well. My goodness, ToolBox definitely has the tools they needed for this game, Greg.
And Deck finally makes some plays. We see the triple come out with the Trizuka. Love to see it. And there is the Tent Umbrella making an impact. flipping the zone for the side of Tesco's Finest, and now going to be a delayed wipe there as the bucket does get taken out. Now we do see some pressure coming up on the left side. Looks like the Splash is aware. We climb up this wall here, but looks like the zone going to stay neutral, then flip back at Tesco's Finest there to get some more points, and now one does go down on the side of Tesco's Finest. This Booyah is going to push back their members and actually going to get a kill as well. Looks like that player who was dead jumped in and got punished, and let's see what this tent can do now. Gonna have to avoid this machine, and they are gonna get taken out.
Heartbreaking. They definitely were trying to go for the kind of plays they were doing earlier, which were helping them cap the zone as well, but unfortunately it was just a little bit too far ahead of that Brella shield that they ended up not quite being in the optimal position to survive that. It does look like, however, they do neutralize the zone and do manage to cap it, but all players are up. They managed to get taken the end zap, so maybe they can keep up this momentum and eventually win some more fights. They are getting pushed back by ToolBox's specials. Greg, and two members have gone down on the side of Tesco's Finest, but they have something to say about it, getting a great pick already, and those tries coming out to help them cap the zone once again. But they really need to begin pushing that even further, because ToolBox is just constantly making their presence known here.
Yeah, both teams just seem pretty content with just staying on their plaid, getting their specials, and now it is going to be Tesco's Finest that's going to be the first team to really push in, finish off a wipe, and they don't have any penalty. They're going to get lead, and they are in danger of KO in this game right now. This Crab's going to come out to try to push back the members of ToolBox. The Tri-Strike's going to move them out a little bit, and this Booyah that the machine has ready is going to be huge. They are going to get taken out, though, which is big. Another member goes down on Tesco's Finest, so maybe they can flip the zone here. 2v2 situation. They're going to get pushed back a little. This is going to be a big fight here. They are going to get another trade, and trades aren't good enough whenever the other team has the zone. It is going to be Tesco's Finest taking game one.
Tesco's Finest definitely playing absolutely fine that game, especially towards the end as they managed to push it all the way down to the knockout. It was definitely, I believe, they were playing pretty patiently during that fight before they managed to be able to take that ground, especially towards the end, to get to push the score all the way down to 0. But when they did find the opportunity to stop pushing up ahead and creating that space for themselves, they were just holding that zone. And even when their players were going down, they were still there, making sure that they at least had paint on the zone for the rest of their team to be able to continue that push, which is definitely great to see.
That Tenterbrell can just be so much to deal with on this map. I mean, the openings between the walls and zones is about as wide as the shield, so very simple for the Tenterbrella to just push the shield through one opening and then fire the second, and all of a sudden your team cannot move forward. And we see at the end there, just great plays, getting just the trades, keeping the paint on the zone in order to finish this one off.
Yeah, I have to say though, ToolBox definitely, I do believe they were in a very good position for quite a lot of that game. But I think that if they didn't go down, especially to that Trizuka there, and continued staying down for quite a bit after that, I do believe that they could have come back and continued the momentum that they definitely had early on in the game as well. So I think it could have gone either side that game. I'm curious to see what they bring out Tower Control Hagglefish Market, however, which is definitely a good map for backlines. There's so many spots you can set up, like a bullpoint or a leader or something like that, which we didn't really see in the first game. But you did say that ToolBox has quite a number of classes, well, all classes basically represented. So I'm curious to see if they switch things up here.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see for sure. You know, that kind of upper, the tent area. Just has so much control over the middle zone, can contest the first checkpoint if you have a long enough weapon. It can easily contest the second checkpoint, so being able to get somebody off there is going to be vital. But both teams, wow, this is just a rock fight, as both teams are just going with pretty short range comps. Just going to go at it right now, and both teams cooler. We're going to see so many splats in this game.
Oh yeah, we are. This is going to be an absolute bloodbath. The only real anchor they have, the only real backline they have, rather, is going to be those crab tanks, which they have on either side as well. With the Splash, does look like the two players have gone down. Tesco's Finest and also ToolBox managed to lose their crab as well, but they have their Trizuka ready to come out whenever they need it, which we are seeing at the moment on the side of ToolBox. Actually, does look like we are seeing this extreme aggressive inkjet as well to follow up on that Trizuka, just to make sure that they have the support they need to take the tower over to that checkpoint.
The ToolBox getting the advantage early. I'd like to see them at least. Oh, they will break that checkpoint. That's good. So getting the early advantage and being able to take advantage of that and getting some points. And now they can still keep this push alive. It's a 3v3 situation. Gonna take out the splash, and now just trying to make a play. They will get taken out, but they're cooler, so they'll be back before you know it.
Yeah, well, ToolBox had that early advantage, the early lead in the previous game, but unfortunately they lost it, so they need to be able to, I think, play defense if Tesco's Finest start pushing here, and with four fairly short-range weapons, it can be a bit of a tricky situation if any players start going down. Doesn't look like two players are just kind of dropping like flies here as the tower is in this neutral game at the moment, but that crab tank coming out hopefully can help ToolBox to clear out the Tesco's Finest support here. Hopefully they can find an opportunity to start moving up ahead once players on Tesco's Finest start going down. But you know, Tesco's Finest is still like staying up and being present here, making sure that they are trying to get picks, win fights. It is a 2v2, the game is still fairly even, but the tower has been taken very briefly though.
The Ultra Stamp gonna get taken out there, and I like ToolBox staying aggressive so far, popping their specials. The Tri-Slosher has been pushing up a lot, hasn't been able to really break through yet, but you know, it hasn't been costing their team too much as they still have yet to give up any points. But as soon as they succeed, it's going to be a surge of points for ToolBox, as now they are starting to move this tower, getting some more points on the board. We're watching the splash here, trying to get in position. I wonder if anybody's going to try to go on this top right. It looks like neither side's really taking it yet. Oh, and the suction bomb on the tower. Both these teams running 2 suction bombs, so you gotta be aware of that at all times. It looks like that will stop the push before things get too out of hand.
Yeah, things are getting a little bit tricky for Tesco's Finest. They are going to get the Ultra Stamp out and getting a pick of throwing the Ultra Stamp like that, but continuing this aggression as well in this fight. They are going to have to be dealing. Actually, I think I reckon they're kind of scaring the other team at the moment with where they've been resisting, getting a great pick on deck as well. This looks like Tesco's Finest first push of the game, but they are going to get pushed up just a little bit. They just need to be able to grab power. Unfortunately, I don't think they have a lot of paint up in front of them, so this push is going to be a little bit tricky for them to keep going. But you know, this wiper, my goodness, Tenso is doing a great job here, at least getting all these picks and making sure anything's cleared out in front of them.
It looks like this Zuko will get one, and that is going to put an end to that push. Almost dangerous situation there with that bomb about to go off. They are able to swim through it with the help of that tattoo cooler, and now it is going to be ToolBox here getting the trade, and they still have a pretty decent lead now. They're popping the crab, popping the inkjet now too. Again, trying to clear out some of the space on this left side, but so far it looks like Tesco's Finest is going to stand up, and nobody's really pushed in front of the tower, so they're going to opt to just let it come back for now, as they're just going to use that special advantage to see if they can get something a little bit later.
Yeah, even though we are seeing like entirely short-range pumps here, it does look like at least they're trying to be fairly patient about it, knowing that they're not going to be going for the knockout at this moment, but at least if you have a lead that is either something that you already have, right, or if there's a potential for a lead to be able to have happen on the side of Tesco's Finest, they are going to be trying to make that happen here. It does look like this crab's coming out in defense to try and clear out that tower as well. Looks like they managed to actually try to push people up, but they're not quite doing it, as they're bringing the tower to the next checkpoint with only a few seconds left in the game. And with these tri-strikes coming out, it does look like Tesco's Finest might be able to make a last-minute push here, but unfortunately, I don't think that they are going to, at the very end, where they lose the tower right after that checkpoint, and ToolBox takes it.
I think they just slid off tower for a second, and somebody from ToolBox was just right there to sneak on it. I didn't see what weapon that was. Tesco's Finest was in such a good position. They had so much paint around the tower, but one member on ToolBox was able to just dive in, put an end to that game. Really, really clutch play there.
Oh yeah, definitely a clutch play, and we've been seeing clutch plays in both of these games actually. And I have to say that I think running the running the short range combat, having these crab tanks is basically your backline weapon. Definitely very interesting to see how that was made to work for both teams in that particular game as well.
Yeah, we saw, game one, ToolBox definitely had the advantage early on when they really just ran straight at Tesco's finest. Got a lot of kills, and then the momentum really swinged whenever it seemed like ToolBox was more content just kind of painting the zone from their plat, allowing the Tensorbrella to just kind of shoot their shield across the zone and slowly take space and get their team ready with specials in order to push in. This game, we definitely saw a lot more aggression coming out of the side of ToolBox, more sustained aggression. I know that Tri-Slosher specifically, it looks like they were really pushing in a lot. And again, not always successful, but when you have somebody like that who's constantly, it's almost like playing, the Tetra play style of just, constantly somebody who, is going to be a problem, going to dive in, and then just forcing attention onto them. So, that what ended up happening. You could see it seemed like Tesco's finest kind of had to move a little slower than they wanted to, and then, finally they maybe thought they had control there at the very end, but somebody just managed to sneak in there and end the game.
Yeah, when you have that constant threat from the Tri-Slosher, basically from everyone, and we saw that threat as well from Tensorbrella here on the Wiper, constantly up in the face of the other team can definitely be a bit of a problem for anyone who's trying to actually break out or contest a push like that. This was the push at the end where those Tri-Strikes came out that I was hopeful Tesco's finest was able to break past that checkpoint, but when they actually lost it just at the final last second, that was definitely almost a little heartbreaking. We are going to be going into the next game, however, which is on Museum d'Alfonsino. It does look like we are still continuing with these short-range comps. However, with basically the longest range weapons we're seeing here are the wipers, perhaps even the bucket as well.
Yeah, our deciding match here going to be on Rainmaker Museum. So again, both teams, as you said, sticking with more short range. I am going to be intrigued to see how the Ultra Stamps do here. That can definitely clear a path for the Rainmaker on this map. We are going to see the crab coming out, going to do a lot of damage. Are they able to finish off a kill? They will with the roll.
Oh, with the roll, yeah, absolutely. It's always fun to see crab rolls getting those kills like that. It does look like, however, Tesco's finest have managed to actually clear out a pretty good pathway for Rainmaker if they can just pick it up and start moving, but they need to get these picks, they need to get this triple if they can look for it. It does look like they do manage to get enough players down, which gives them the opportunity to get that Rainmaker. Unfortunately, not managing to make it to the first checkpoint. They do get taken out right there, but if they can get it, it looks like this is a fairly free checkpoint for them, but ToolBox has something to say about that.
Oh, that was a clutch stop of the Rainmaker, but it looks like it's not going to matter as Tesco's finest is able to get that checkpoint. All of them are pushed so far out. This is a dangerous situation. We're going to need to see the crab make a big play here to just kind of push these guys back, stop them a little bit. They are not going to get any picks with it though, so control of the plat is still on the side of Tesco's finest. As here comes the Ultra Stamp now. We see another pick as two other players trade, and now it is just the end zap. Where is he? Can he stop the rain? I don't see them. Looks like they're going to run. They're trying to get him from behind. The attention is going to go there, which is going to allow the Wiper to stop the Rainmaker, but 28, you don't want to give that up this early.
Yeah, you absolutely don't want to give it up. It's only been less than 2 minutes. Unfortunately, Lennon goes down there. It does look like, however, ToolBox is still trying to make some work happen with one player down on either side, 2 players down on ToolBox. Looks like, unfortunately, it's going to be difficult for them to be able to break out of this as they're constantly getting stuck around their spawn area here. The Rainmaker does reset, however, and with Tesco's finest with that big lead already, they need to find, ToolBox really needs to find an opportunity to break out of their spawn.
This stamp is getting a lot done right now for Tesco's finest, and just their bomb pressure too. We're seeing a lot of members of ToolBox get taken out by the bombs, but it looks like finally the main advantage is on the side of ToolBox. They are going to pop the cooler. It looks like they are going to be able to finally start a push here. But maybe just stopping and let that Rainmaker reset as they go in mid. All these short-range weapons could be sharking anywhere, so they want to get some paint on the ground first. And the Rainmaker will reset. Let's see if they are able to push on to Tesco Finest's plat here.
Yeah, we've got a fairly neutral game here, but Tesco's finest already on their plat. They have the high ground advantage, but they are still pushed a little bit far back. However, they do manage to get a pick on the shot on the side of ToolBox, and they are going to be picking up the Rainmaker once again. It looks like getting that pick was definitely something that helped them to regain a bit of the ground that they had lost early, just a few moments ago. Two players have gone down in Tesco's Finance here, and ToolBox is going to be using this as an opportunity to really apply some more pressure. Unfortunately, going down, running into that 1v2 there was a little bit unfortunate for the Viper, but with those tri-strikes coming out, Tesco's Finance are not going to be giving up just yet.
It seems that looked like twice in a row now the Wipers, but the only one to push that right side and got punished for it. They need to kind of get all the team members on the same page to push up when they have these advantages, because they have a long way to go. They haven't even broken the first checkpoint yet, and Tesco's Finest defense is staying strong right now. As we see the Viper get two, going to chase down the third. They're going to be forced to jump out, and right now it looks like Tesco's Finest is going to try to add on, but suddenly three of them go down. This is the best opportunity the ToolBox has had all game.
Yeah, it looks like they are running it to the first checkpoint. It does look like they managed to get it, but they do go down there with three players have gone down still on the side of Tesco's Finest. It does look like they can continue this if they just manage to pop the Rainmaker and run it here, but they are going to be contested by these tri-strikes at the moment. They just need to stay alive and make sure they can get Tesco's Finest out of the game in order to take this set for themselves. With only 40 seconds left in the game, do we reckon they can do it? Is the question.
This is the deciding game of the set right now. 34 seconds left. Both teams, everybody's just going down right now. It's just the Rainmaker alive. They're just gonna run for it. Can they get there? They're getting so close. They got it!
Oh my goodness, just that one Rainmaker play at the very end. They do manage to get lead, and that lead swap still only just a couple of points, and this late into the game as well. Tesco's Finest are going to be feeling kind of worried here. If they want to win this set, they have to be able to take control. But the thing is, they were able to take control really well. ToolBox just has to play their defense in order to win this game, and it does look like the Rainmaker has gone down with 1 second left, and that is going to be the set done on the side of ToolBox. And oh my goodness, I honestly did not expect that final play, especially when those three players went down on ToolBox's side and they decided to just like find those small patches of ink on the ground and just run the Rainmaker all the way down to a score of 25. That 3-point lead, incredible, fantastic work, ToolBox.
You didn't expect it. I didn't expect it. Nobody in the world expected it, including Tesco's Finest, as they just kind of got caught asleep at the wheel there. The ToolBox Rainmaker carry was able to just go right in and just, oh my gosh, the points just went so fast. They were able to get that lead. What a play. I think 9 times out of 10, they end up just backing up, trying to give jumps to their team and push for another day, but they just took the game into their own hands there, made a humongous play, and got their team the victory in this set.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to say, I think ToolBox definitely had a surprise tool that will help them later, which definitely helped them at the very end of that game there. Just being able to run that Rainmaker was definitely impressive. You know, ToolBox, I had no idea what they were going to pull out in any of these games, but seeing that play at the very end, I just have to... I'm still kind of blown away by that. We are seeing, however, I do reckon that this game, Tesco's Finest, was really good at being able to keep so much control and really scaring ToolBox away from being able to like push up ahead. But you know, I think ToolBox, for the most part, being able to know that we just have to kind of play fairly patiently here, at least allowed them to not give up throughout this entire game, because you know it couldn't be very easy to almost feel like you're gonna give up on Rainmaker in the last.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh,
what even was that? Those squid rolls as well, just like parrying those shots, parrying that damage to be able to keep them alive with the Rainmaker in those last few seconds that they were carrying it as well. Incredible, amazing play. That was definitely entertaining.
Insanity. We saw about a minute before that game-winning push. ToolBox was pushed up. They had looked like 3 down on Tesco's Finest, and we saw the Ultra Stamp pushing way up, carving a path for the Rainmaker, and then the Ultra Stamp just ran out right as they got near the final podium. You think like, man, a couple of patches ago, maybe that guy gets a double off of that as the duration lasts just a little longer, but you know, that would have been a winning push the last patch, but they found a way to make a winning push in this patch too. Somehow, I still don't even know how that happened.
Yeah, it like on paper it shouldn't happen. Like on paper, that's not supposed to work.
What do you think the VCs sounded like at that moment? Like just
they were-
incoherent screaming, shrieking.
Yeah, incoherent screaming. I've been there. I've been in VCs like that where something like that happens, and it's just like the energy is one thing, but you know, you just have to keep that energy up in your actual. You have to translate that to your actual gameplay as well, just so you don't drop that. Because you know, even if you do manage to get that lead late in the game as well, but if throughout the entire game the other team has been able to apply that constant pressure and get that paint output as well, then you know the game is not necessarily over. You have to play that defense. You have to keep that defense up because you don't want to lose that in overtime.
Yeah, you have to keep your composure. Nothing would be worse than getting the lead on a play like that and then just collapsing with only about 20 seconds left on defense. But ToolBox able to get it done, which was just a great job by them. As we check in on some of the other sets in progress here, potentially. See, we're working on getting that up, but I believe we will take a short break here before we get to our final set of the day, so stay tuned, we'll be back in just a bit.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Low Ink. I'm Lily Gravy Bread and I'm joined by Greg. You can just call me Lily. We are going to be going into this final set, Greg, between these two teams and bottom feeders.
I don't know if they're putting us to sleep or if it's just a hive of bees, but I guess we'll kind of see by their playstyle here what exactly they're doing, and then bottom feeders looking forward to see what they can do as well. As hey, we're already at the end of the day here, round 6 of our Swiss about to get underway. It's been a crazy day, that's for sure.
Oh, it has been. We've seen some crazy games, and I'm looking forward to 3 more in this set. And you know, I hope that zzz is not going to be putting us to sleep. Maybe this is a taunt. Maybe they're trying to put the other team to sleep here to be able to gain that advantage over them. And I'm looking forward to seeing actually what both teams bring out in these final map modes. We are going, oh my god, it's one of my favorites, Clam Blitz and Scorch Gorge. This is one where it can take a little bit of time to get a push going, but you know, when you do get that push going, you can get some really incredible plays here. Oh man, I just love Clam Blitz.
Yeah, this map is slowly building a library of iconic Splatoon 3 moments. It just seems like so many just insane games, insane sets happen on Clam Blitz Scorch. I'm definitely excited to see what these teams can do. It looks like bottom feeders, again, a team where have a lot of options with their roster, all playing a lot of unique weapons. I'm interested to see if we will see some blasters come out on their side. Looks like at least one member definitely has that in their pocket, but I'm also seeing rollers as an option, and I'm a little scared that I'm seeing Arrow Spray, another popular pick with this team. We'll see if that ends up coming out.
Oh man, Aerospace, we are seeing actually the V-Mini, which is an interesting choice on the side of, I believe it's bottom feeders. So this is going to be interesting. They do have that the Ultra Stamp and the Burst Bomb to help them out, at least with Penis staying alive. We are looking to see a Zekafin as well, looking out for a pick and trying to control the mid area, but getting pushed back just a little bit from those bombs as well. It does look like zzz is trying to gain some kind of footing here, but they're losing a bit of map control to bottom feeders, getting stuck in this pit. Hopefully with that zip cast they can make some quick work of this ball point. Unfortunately, it does look like they're going back, but that distraction might have helped them just enough to be able to gain some control of mid here and get some of their clams going.
Big opportunity here, 2 down. Can they take out this ball point? They're one shot. They pop the inkjet, but they're gonna go down. And now, oh my gosh, somehow a bomb just destroys the end zap as they're popping the tactic cooler. So there went a lot of their clams. They were able still to get one ball in, but one from a really promising opportunity ends up just being 20 points on the board for zzz.
Yeah, so those 20 points, you know, that's better than nothing. At least they got that ball in, but that does give the other team, that does give the pity clam over to the other side. Oh, we saw a great pick on Big Mistake. That Big Mistake making a big mistake of getting in the line of fire of this Zekafin, unfortunately. But it does look like, however, the game is still fairly neutral at this point. 2 players are down on zzz, so bottom feeders might be able to gain some footing here with the help of their tactical. They just need the clams to be able to do so.
And not too many clams their name yet, only holding 6. We're just seeing Fizzy's go to a really effective spot there, and taking out somebody mid-air there with that inkjet, and now they're really grouped up there. Can they help? Bellyman here is just trying to push in, gonna pop the tacticooler, and here comes the stamp from the mini. They're gonna pull back. They have a ball. They are gonna score it, and now a decent opportunity here. If they can get the lead, they will.
They do get the lead, and I have to say, oh my goodness, we have to say we're seeing some really great picks happening here. Zzz have gone 3 down, which is giving a free pass to bottom feeders to continue this push all the way into the 50s as well. It looks like they have a pretty good spot as well for the ballpoint, just to make sure that any defensive positions are being cleared out as they take the score down to 41. We can see them passing clams here. This is some great coordination. The inkjet to follow up on that as well, helping them get some picks. It looks like the Triumph Sharks are going to try and get them out of that area under the basket, but they're still there. They're still going, and the basket does close, but it is a score all the way down to 35, Greg.
How kind of the game, just when it looked like bottom feeders was going to run out of clams, the cluster spawned right in front of the baskets. They were able to get a few more in there, but eventually they do run out. But they, are still in a great spot. They have control of mid, and they have a ton of clams already. They may be able to get another push out right off the bat, but this is finally able to get something done here as they will take out one member, and now they're pushing in with this tactical, facing 3 people who have so to themselves, somehow decides to live.
Oh my goodness, yeah, Zzz can't fall asleep just yet. They need to be able to get another power climb in. It does look like we are seeing this. Is that jump getting camped? It does look like they managed to actually stay alive after that. We are seeing some incredible survivability, but they do manage to actually even get a wipeout here very briefly. It does look like Zzz are going to be trying to get a push going. They have a power climb, they have a bunch of climbs, they have the Time Strikes coming out. It does look like they can get some headway here, but all players on bottom feeders are still alive. They need to be able to win some kind of fight here or get as much value out of these specials as possible. They do drop the climb. They are going to be getting the zip cells to out, but they fall off the side of the map and reset their... Oh, I'm so glad they were actually in their zip caster when that happened. Does look like they managed to keep this push going. However, with the score of 43, they just need to be able to get their... Oh, they managed to get lead. What am I seeing here? What am I seeing here?
This is carnage. This is insanity. I don't know what's happening right now. But bottom feeders will get another chance here as we near overtime. They do have some plans, but one of their members goes down. They had to be aware of this charger. He's been hitting a few shots today. Now going to be aware of the stamper. Going to take them out from behind, and suddenly things are going to get a lot more desperate for bottom feeders as now they're starting to lose control of mid.
Yeah, I think Zzz was only pretending to sleep the first half of this match because they've definitely shown how awake they are for the rest of it. But 3 players
go down.
And
Spider-Man has to save the day here.
Oh my goodness, yeah, bottom feeders are going to have to find this opportunity to be able to create some kind of push, but they don't have a power climb just yet. They do have all of this space that they can work with. They have the clams ready to go. They can just make this power climb and push it in. They might be able to take an overtime lead here, but 3 players have gone down. It does look like Zzz is perhaps even going to be taking this game if they don't get this. Oh my goodness, it does look like they managed to get a pick on that power climb, but actually no, they managed to get the power climb in. Bottom feeders have to be able to push past these Time Strikes, push past these bombs in order to get anything happening at this moment. But it does look like, as we zoom in on that last player there, oh my goodness, what do we think of that game?
Oh man, bottom feeders
definitely coming out strong.
They were so close to making something happen there at the end. They had, I think, maybe 2 people carrying power clams following a Ultra Stamp that came out, but the Ultra Stamp got taken out so quickly. I'm not quite sure what got them, but then they were just in a line defenseless there, and the ball carriers got taken out as well. If that Ultra Stamp lives and they're able to clear that space and get those guys in, the game goes totally a different direction. So close, but he's finally able to take game 1.
Yeah, they did. I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do in game 2 as well, because those big pushes, something that you can see in not just this map mode, but the next one. We're seeing this was the great push opportunity where they managed to get those players out, and this survivability from that stamper as well, knowing exactly when to get the zip caster out, knowing exactly when to stay alive and how to stay alive, not to rush too far into that 1v3 either as well. So it was definitely great to see what I reckon the stamper was doing throughout a lot of this game as well.
Yeah,
we're seeing this push here happening.
Turning the corner and seeing 3 people who are all have the cooler is just a scary sight. They managed to get out of that, and then just the final defense, able to clutch it out. Almost celebratory ink strikes there at the very end, just to make sure, claim a little bit of that space, make sure nobody slides in there at the very end with some more clams. But good job by them standing up on that final defense.
Yeah, absolutely a fantastic job in that final defense, and those Time Strikes as well, being able to just create that extra bit of danger for anyone trying to come back in. It was almost heartbreaking to see the opportunity for that final overtime push just kind of fall apart as they were able to defend so well and just like bomb them out and get those Time Strikes out just to drive the dagger in. But we are going to be seeing them up against each other on Splat Zones and Umami Ruins, where you can see some big pushes go either way as well. Here, like we did see on Scorched Clams. Now this one is definitely a choke point. Has definitely got a choke point that you need to watch out for. I mean, Scorched Clams kind of does too, but here especially so. And seeing what weapons that they have here, I reckon they can definitely make some really strong holds throughout a lot of this game. We're actually seeing a leader come out, which is a little bit different, but the double Splatling comp is going to retain here on the side of bottom feeders, I believe.
Yeah, you're gonna have to be aware of that E-leader peeking behind this big structure in mid, and then we're gonna see the Ultra Stamp come out on the side of the Mini. They're gonna head through the zone. They aren't able to take anybody out, but they'll throw the Stamp and then just get a kill with the main weapon. And it looks like, oh, wow, I didn't even see that person, but Mar did. Got a huge shot there to even things up. And now it is going to go on the side of as they do have the man advantage. They're going to get another kill, and they are going to get early control of the zones.
Yeah, and they've got control of the spine as well, that this top mid area, which they definitely need to be able to hold this choke point. We can see them kind of flushing out that dome as well, just to make sure that no one is staying up there, which they definitely don't want at this moment. We are seeing all this...
Two go down!
Yeah, two go down there. We are seeing, like, I reckon this is definitely them going to be breaking out at this moment, Greg.
I was thinking there, you know, how do you displace a C-leader with this team? And the answer is you don't. You just take an Ultra Stamp and hit the other guys and just go right through zone, and that's going to scare them away. And it is going to be bottom feeders who are going to get the advantage here. We got a Crab on Inkjet fight. Looks like it's going to end in a draw, as now we see the Zuka come out. I like this aggression here. They're not letting Zzz get too set up here. Just staying in front here, popping these specials. They aren't going to get any kills with it though, but they are going to have one member go down. They are going to have the tactical come out here pretty soon, and here comes the Stamp. They got to be ready for that. It looks like they won't be able to get somebody this time.
Yeah, but they do have the lead switch. It's a very small lead nonetheless, but it is still a lead, and that goes back. I think the zone is being neutralized at the moment. We're seeing a great pick, great double as well from this bucket to be able to give Zzz an opportunity to be able to retake the zone and get through these penalty points as well. We can see them really applying all that pressure, applying all that danger to the choke point, looking out for a pick as well. We've seen Mar get some great picks before, so we might be able to see them really be a danger to bottom feeders at this moment as they're set up here on this top mid area. But three players have gone down on Zzz, and this is going to be the Hammer once again helping out with that wipeout. Just bottom feeders coming back in and saying that the game is not over yet, my friend.
Yeah, bottom feeders able to get that wipe, but they can't quite push up to this elbow area. They're going to go in with the Inkjet. Are they able to push up with this Inkjet? They're going to be a little afraid because the Inkzuka comes out at the same time. So going to just stay mid. Neither team able to get any picks. We are going to see a lead change once again. Things go on the side of bottom feeders, and suddenly, wow, the Crab comes out and many members of bottom feeders go down. This is going to flip this again, and they don't have much of a penalty. Let's see if they're just going to stay back right now. They're trying to at least contest this ramp area. Their leader, you can see, way pushed up more than before, going on these blocks rather than staying top mid. Again, just more pressure as now the Stamp comes out. Let's see if they can get in. They've been able to get in every time so far with the Stamp. Not going to be able to get a pick this time.
Yeah, the Stamp doesn't really help them to get that retake, unfortunately, but Zzz has got lead here at the moment. Seeing this another great pick on Bellyman here, it does look like they're able to maybe contest the zone, but they get wiped out on top of that, Greg.
Danzo taking care of business there on that zone. Looks like a double the E-leader and the Slosher go down. That's going to enable bottom feeders another chance here to see if they can win this game. Don't have much of a penalty. They're going to have to survive this Crab tank. They will. They're actually going to take it out. Looks like with the Inkjet. Big mistake. Is going to get one, but then the E-leader is going to take out their friend there. And now here comes the strikes. Can they just paint over? They only need a few more points for lead, but another one goes down through the Trizuka.
My goodness, it is a bloodbath at the moment. Two down on either side, and it does look like Zzz going to be getting the zone once again these last 50 seconds. But are they going to be taken out is the question. Doesn't look like they managed to get the pick here, but there's this constant pressure from these two players enable them to at least neutralize the zone as well. All they need to do is just cap this and get through these penalty points, and we can see another lead swap in the favor of bottom feeders, but seeing the Inkjet once again come out if they can get rid of this crab, which they do. Amazing crab kill right there. Unfortunately, 3 of them go down as they manage to take out another one as well. So this looks like Zzz is just going to be in prime position just to hold this for the last few seconds of the game. We've been seeing Ma being able to get these pigs, and it does look like they're looking for another one at the moment as bottom feeders start to rush back in, especially with the Inkjet here trying to get them out of the zone. It does look like, however, this lead is going to be continued just by another 1 point. It does look like that is going to be game.
Man, great job there by Zzz when they... it seemed like they kept losing zone whenever a few of them would just get taken out when the hammer came out. Finally, on the last defense, they said, you know what? Hammer's going to come out and run at us. Let's just give it some space, keep paying on the zone, keep it neutral. And that's exactly what they did. None of them went down, which was what enabled them to just finally hang on in that overtime.
Yeah, and being able to hang on in that overtime, definitely what they needed to do. Now, Zzz had a really incredible push in that Clan Blitz game, but this Splatoon's game was a little bit more back and forth, and I know that in Tower Control Manta Maria, this is one I always call a tug of war, so it'd be interesting to see who comes out on top here. I'm curious as well to see what kind of things they're able to do with an Ultra Stamp, if they're able to do that, because we saw in that game, the Ultra Stamp, as you mentioned, was definitely the player that was just kind of rushing in and allowing the rest of their team to be able to retake, which was definitely something that was very useful to bottom feeders. But unfortunately, once Zzz was able to get a read on that, as you mentioned, it was not going to work out for them the way that they may have hoped.
About some of the shots from Mar on the E-leader that game, just really just backbreaking shots. If you're bottom feeders, you really want to be able to push in, but just getting multiple members of your team just getting deleted. We saw, I think specifically, some of these hammer plays, the one towards the end with the crab tank that died. Mar got a shot there, which is huge, but we see there's so many plays being made in this game. This was so back and forth. You see the crab tank there was able to clear out a ton of space on their own and get a wipe. And yeah, just both teams. It's rare, I feel like this map can be pretty lockout heavy, but neither of these teams had too much of a trouble. We saw so many possessions of the zone swap back and forth. It was just kind of hang on to that, which was the problem.
Yeah, also, you were talking about Ma getting those shots. I want to also give a little mention also to a big mistake being able to evade those shots, especially when up in the air as an Inkjet. Oh, that was a good crab tank kill to remember as well, and getting picked off by Ma there. But being able to move in and out of swim form in an Inkjet as well was definitely something I reckon that was at least helping them survive for long enough in Inkjet form. To survive the menace of Ma. Looks like Ma's actually swapping out to a ballpoint in this one, which I think is pretty good, especially with the amount of high ground you can get to be up in the air and providing those openings for your team to be able to push in as well. We are also seeing an S-Blast as well, and a double cooler comp on the side of Zzz.
Yeah, Dynamo Alert. Seeing it played a lot more on this map, can be pretty effective because, you want to be able to pressure the other team's street, and being able to do that just from their bunker without even having to step into the street. Really nice of the Dynamo to be able to do that. As now they go top mid. They will get taken out though, but it looks like it is going to be bottom feeders that is going to break this first checkpoint. Not without a lot of trouble, but they are going to get it done. And now we see the two coolers unoccupied next to each other there. And it is going to be them attacking from the side here, but here comes the Ultra Stamp, able to clean things up, and all of a sudden they're going to get through the second checkpoint, just as easy as the first now. Wow, bottom feeders has woken up here, game 3.
Yeah, they absolutely have. I think Zzz is the one that's kind of falling asleep at the moment, but I have to say that I want to give a special mention to their wiper that early on in the game managed to get rid of their backline to be able to really start setting up some really aggressive positions for their team to begin this push. They've already gone all the way down to 18. This is a very unusual game we've been seeing here, where a push all the way down to 18 I feel like doesn't even necessarily happen until much later into the game. We can see already that wiper set up on their bunker, making it difficult for Zzz to be able to even take control of that, but they do manage to get that, and with 2 players down on the side of bottom feeders, it looks like hopefully they can get a little bit of headway with the first push in the game here.
There's so much soda being popped on the side of Zzz. They are just going to have a sugar high for the rest of the game as the S-Blast is going to make this little jump. I like to see it. And going to get a nice direct there on the Dynamo. Gonna fight here, gonna get dropped on and gonna get taken out too. Can't quite get the Reef Slider out, but we do see the tower is still moving.
Yeah, the tower is moving with the help of that inkjet. Oh, we saw the Ultra Stamp go down as well. They're gonna be trying to hop on to get this next checkpoint, but it does look like Bottom Feeders has taken them out at this moment and are trying to find a way back into retake mid with the help of the Dynamo Roller as well. They have their specials online. They're just waiting for the opportunity to start to do something with them to be able to stop Zzz from being able to retake here.
We see big mistake. Gonna take out the ballpoint with their heavy. Gonna get another kill there too. So gonna keep this push going, trying to improve onto the lead they have, but D is gonna dive and take out one. The roller tries to roll them over. They're not gonna get them either. And it is going to be finally the Ultra Stamp that is going to take them out.
Yeah, this Ultra Stamp needs to really be applying this pressure here as they have been all game. But you know, we're seeing Bellyman actually set up quite far ahead once again, as they have been doing, going all the way around to do some kind of to make some kind of flank happen, as they've been doing all game as well. Actually not being able to get a lot of value out of that, but at least managing to distract Ma on the ball point there as the tower gets neutralized.
Yeah, nice awareness there by Mar. Sniffing out that flank and gonna have to force Bellyman to just give up, but we do see Zzz trying to get another push in here. Gonna pop the Inkjet, but you can see big mistake, just kind of sitting safe for now. The Reef Slider is maybe gonna get the Dynamo. Somebody at least took them out, and now they gotta watch out. Their bunker is in trouble here. The Slosher is gonna take out a couple, and now this is a moment here. They don't have any other checkpoints to get through in order to tie this game.
Yeah,
the Dynamo.
Oh my goodness! Unfortunately, 3 of the players have gone down, and this Dynamo is definitely going to be clearing out the street for them. If they need to do anything at this moment, is to get rid of that Dynamo and take control of the street. But with 2v2 on either side, it definitely is going to be a difficult battle in these last 45 seconds. But I reckon Zzz can do something here. They have won the previous games. Bottom Feeders just has to retain this lead for the last 40 seconds in order to take this one. With 3 players down, it does look like they have the opportunity to do so, Greg.
Yeah, from Danzo right now, I'm from spawn here. I'm just getting my ink strikes ready. Count me out of the rest of the game. Definitely going to need those for the final defense. Bellyman staying pushed up here. I like that they're still pushing the tower just a little bit to at least get that special advantage that you get from having the tower. The Ultra Stamp is going to get one, and now, but it looks like Hull is going to just be big mistake. Oh my gosh! Gets taken out mid-air.
Great pick on big mistake. Now, as we go into overtime, Zzz are going to have to find this opportunity to actually take a lead on them with 1 player going down, unfortunately, and with no control over the street. It does look like Mar is getting stuck in Bottom Feeders ink here, and it does look like that Bottom Feeders managed to push them off and take the tower at the very end, securing their lead, making sure that overtime does not pose any threat to them. Wow, what an incredible comeback, being able to take a game off of Zzz as well. We saw some very even games in the last, especially in the last 2 matches. Well, all 3 matches have been definitely very even. It's been great to see Bottom Feeders be able to take one of the games this set as well. That was, I have to say, that first push all the way down to 18. That was kind of unbelievable. That's not something I typically see here on Tower Control Manta Mira, where things have, from my experience, been pretty back and forth in other games anyway.
Bottom Feeders able to win that battle, but Zzz is able to win the war. They're going to take the set, our final set of the day, as we wrap up our Swiss stage. A lot of great sets all day. It's been great commentating with you, Lily. We see some of the replays here again, just that great opening push. You see, just, you know, able to pinch these guys on the side here, and they just are getting so in front of the tower that the tower's really just going uncontested. But then And we see on the other side of things, similar situation. People were just kind of going after the tower, not able to get it done, but then Danzo did make the big stop there. Really solid game coming out from them. And then bottom feeder is just able to hang on here, 18, pretty nice lead if you have it, and then the fireworks shot there goes up in the air and explodes. Just takes a little bit of latency. You love to see it.
Absolutely love to see it. However, that, I believe, as we have gone through to the end of day 1 of Low Ink, I believe this is going to be it for us. However, there is day 2 still to come, and that's going to be happening tomorrow. But for now, Greg, where can we find you on the internet?
I am on Twitter. That's Twitter, whatever X is, I don't know. I'm on Twitter at whatisagreg, and I'm on Twitch at Gregory Live. Lily, how about you?
You can find me on Twitter and Twitch. Same username, Lily Gravy Bread. That's Lili Gravy Bread, all one word. It's been great commentating with you, and it's been a great day 1. I'm looking forward to day 2 for sure.
So, on behalf of me, Lily, and JPEG, the rest of the Low Ink staff, thank you guys for watching, and see you tomorrow.